In the Pits is partnered with QBR. Founded in 2021 and based here in Texas, QBR seeks to elevate the cannabinoid industry to a new standard of professionalism and education, while also providing the highest quality product. Whether you are seeking to heal and recover from the toll that paintball puts on the mind and body, or even looking for investment opportunities through adult vending machines, QBR has the solution for you. Head to QBRofficial.com to browse their selection. QBR, they don't sell broccoli. In the Pits is partnered with 71 Designs, owned and operated by veteran Wade Martin, and partnered with fellow Texas brand Compete. 71 Designs can take your ideas for soft goods, merchandise, and casual wear and make them a reality. Message 71 Designs on Facebook or Instagram to get started today. In the Pits is partnered with Mariachi Águilas de Oro. Based in Austin and servicing the surrounding areas, these golden eagles will bring life to any event you are having, from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, corporate events, or even a simple performance to enjoy. Guillermo Padilla, one of their trumpet players, is also a member of the Texas paintball scene. Visit them on Facebook and Instagram to check out some of their past performances, or give them a call to book them for your event today. In the Pits is partnered with Hydra. Designed by players for players, you can outfit yourself in Hydra gear from head to toe. Have confidence that when you make a purchase from Hydra, you are purchasing a well-tested and well-thought-out product, trusted by several top teams, including first-place semi-pro team PaintballFit.com. I personally recommend their Hydra Black knee pads. Purchases over $100 receive free shipping. Head to hydra.fit to browse their selection and discover the Hydra mentality. In the Pits is partnered with XTPL Events. The Extreme Tournament Paintball League is a series put on by the Lukow family of Paintball Fit fame that gives the opportunity for players to learn and grow together as a team. 3-man, Challengers and Champions X-Ball, Draft Mech X-Ball, and even Youth 3v3. There's something for everyone at XTPL. Not to mention prize tosses, raffles, and the infamous paintball munching contest. Events happen throughout the year, and the prizes never disappoint. Sign up for an XTPL event today on PB Leagues. In the Pits is partnered with TexanHemp.com, locally shipped cannabis seeds. In a world where saving time means making money, TexanHemp.com, a local cannabis seed bank owned and operated by local Texas pro player Jared Sherman, is making waves by becoming the go-to source for all cannabis genetics in Texas. Carrying a large assortment of cannabis cultivars, including Texas-approved varieties for use in the Texas Hemp Program, high THCA seeds for novelty use, as well as premium genetics bred for solventless extraction, TexanHemp.com has the ability to satisfy even the most sophisticated collectors. Head to TexanHemp.com and use code INTHEPITS for 10% off of your orders. In the Pits is partnered with Podrunners Union. Podrunners Union breaking news. Super limited Union Tech tees and, for the first time, Fiesta medals are available online at podrunnersunion.org. Use offer code PITS for 10% off of your order. Stealing pods for undeserving teams. It's a living. In the Pits is partnered with Compete. Compete is a Texas-based brand by Jell Stewart of professional team AC Diesel that provides custom jerseys, pants, headbands, straps, tech shirts, and any other soft goods to help individuals and teams compete at the highest level. Support Texas Paintball and message Compete on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits Podcast for 10% off your entire order. In the Pits is partnered with BEM Wraps. Behind every mask is a unique and creative player. Tap into it when you order your next custom headpiece. Their Build-A-Band lets you communicate with them one-on-one to make your order just the way you want, all the way down to the color of the stitch. Check out their Instagram at BEMWraps for drops and build videos of them working on orders. They offer very competitive pricing, so reach out today to get started on your own one-of-a-kind headpiece. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot is now accepting bookings for the upcoming NXL Mid-Atlantic Major and will also be offering drone footage for the first time. Head to GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram to secure your media coverage today. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message at Paintball Kumite on Instagram. Hey everybody, welcome to In the Pits, episode 104. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and new special guest. I'm Christian Dallas Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans, and this episode we are celebrating our second birthday. And so we are inviting everybody that's ever been on the show before. Feel free to come on the show, say hi, catch up, connect. And so, yeah, it looks like we got Enzo from now Cap City Charge, Jaybird from Splat Zone in Houston, Papa Sosh himself, and Cooper Harrison. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Thank you. Yeah. It's been a good time. I see a whole bunch of us from the first year. I think Cooper, you were on like pretty early on in the second year. So we got one guest from year 2. But, if you're listening, feel free to hop on. So guys, how's it going? Is anybody getting ready to go to Atlantic City? You're not selling it very well, Sasha. I don't know if which one I'd rather be at right now. Oh, what's up, Skylar? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, there. Thanks, Bonner. Let's see. Can y'all start talking? Looks like I had Discord muted for a little bit. So,
good.
There we go. All right. Looks like everybody is on now. What's up, Cooper? Let's see. I see Skylar. Skylar, are you getting ready to go to AC at all, or are you staying home for this one?
No, man. I'm sitting it out for a while. Yeah.
Hey, Cooper, go put a shirt on, dude.
Come on, Cooper. What do you think this is?
Sorry, Katie was trying to get.
Hey, what's up, Katie?
I wish I could go, but we couldn't make it. But I'm gonna definitely watch it on Go Sports.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome, Jaybird. Looks like you got some construction going on there. Or what do you got going on over there at Splat?
Yeah, man. So we're actually switching our indoor court, our indoor jelly ball. We're turning it into pickleball courts.
Okay. Okay. So have you expanded that, or is that like a new?
Yeah, like it's a new thing. So like we still have our indoor field. I'm trying to get this camera thing figured out, dude. I'm pretty. There we go. So we still have our indoor paintball over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still going on over here, but we're taking what used to be our jelly ball, glow in the dark jelly ball, and then we still have our outdoor going on. So we actually have people out there practicing for our 2v2 event that we have going on this weekend.
Nice.
So.
Gotcha. Yeah. I saw that y'all got hit pretty bad with the storm a few weeks ago. How's the repairs been going for that?
The netting's been all stitched up. We lost a bunch of poles, so we're still working on getting the replacements on those. We're in the city, so it's like a tight fit for us. So it's I'm still trying to figure out basically how to get the poles installed without tearing up the turf too bad. Because we're going to have to, put some tall poles, and we're going to hopefully put some lights up. But we need to get taller poles. So that's kind of all in the process now.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Not bad.
But we recovered almost all of our bunkers. About 15 of them were torn to the point where couldn't use them anymore. So we're having to replace those, but everything else, nobody got hurt and we're still rocking and rolling. So
Good to see that y'all recovered. Are y'all still doing the like the HTTPS stuff there? I saw that you had to move that one event up north.
yeah, so that event was scheduled for Sunday. The storm hit on Thursday, and we didn't have time to recover and put everything back together. So they ended up moving that particular event to the other field up north. But we should be hosting the rest of them for the rest of the season. So we're back in business.
Gotcha. Very cool. So yeah, I think with the crew that we have so far, so what we kind of did last year was we just went around and kind of introduced ourselves. If you remembered what number episode you were on, tell us what episode you were on, and then kind of how things are going now. So I guess let's start with in order of seniority. So I think that leaves us starting with Sasha on this one.
Is that an old joke or a episode listing joke?
It's all of the above. Yes. If you go back and listen to episode 6, you'll hear me crowing about the great victory of the Dragoons who reached the podium finally in Division 4. And since then, I have stopped doing tournament paintball because running a paintball team is a big pain in the butt. And I decided that I like playing rec ball because I get to go ruin birthday parties every weekend. And I also get to, but I started this new thing called Walk On Speedball at X Factor, first and third Sunday every month. Show up at noon and I will shoot at you and you can shoot back at me. And it's been great because there's all these people out there that don't necessarily want to be in a team or just getting back into it. And, because Christian's out there at tournament practice with the Titans every Sunday. And do you want to get shot into the ground by Christian? That guy's mean, dude. He will put it on you, right? You don't want that. I saw some photos of you putting on some people out in California, show them how we do in Texas.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a little bit different, those California guys, they gotta learn, but Texas, I'm not going to do that to the Texans.
I told you on Instagram, I would have thrown a gross major with suspension for that overshooting I saw, and it was just a still frame. I could still tell you're hurting that guy. Anyway, and I do rec ball. I do Pod Runners Union, which is a sponsor of this show, I believe. Still, you're still getting my money. I'm calling on everybody within the sound of my voice who's going to be in Atlantic City. I need you all to take pictures of Pod Runners and send them to me because I need content so I can continue my Instagram feed and become an influencer and retire. I love my job. Last time people thought that I hated my job. I love my job, but retirement, I can just, design layouts all day. What else? Read, work on paintball guns, make shooting videos. It'd be a lot more fun. All right. That's enough out of me. Thanks, Christian.
I love it. Thanks, Sasha. So, Sasha was episode 6 almost 2 years ago now, end of July. So up next in seniority is actually Jaybird, episode 7. So Jaybird, can you hear us?
Nope. Maybe.
Maybe. Jaybird, can you hear us? There you go. I see he's looking at us. There we go.
I can hear you. What's up, bud?
So, just we're kind of going around in order of seniority. So just introduce us if you're what you do, what you're up to now, and if you remember the episode number that you were featured on, tell us that and what's been happening since then.
So I think I was episode 11. I don't remember 100%.
You were actually episode 7.
Oh, well, there you go. Even better. Lucky number 7. Since then we finally opened up our outdoor field. I'm currently playing with Deadly Defiance. We're playing Division 4 USXBL. Will be the first event that we all play together. What else is going on? I mean, just rocking and rolling, man. Just trying to keep the field up and running. We've been developing our pro shop. As you can see, we kind of got all of our stuff here, and just rocking and rolling, man. Keeping Splat Zone open and growing the family and playing paintball, dude. So
I love it.
It's been good. Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, I need to get back out to your field for another one. I think the last time I was there was for that one-on-one event that you hosted a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, so since then, I mean, the first event that we are hosting in-house is actually on the 29th. So it'll be the same weekend as XTPL.
Mhm.
But it's a 2v2 charity event. It's it's just a fun little event. So if you guys can swing by and make it out, if you're not playing XTPL, it'll be on Saturday.
Gotcha.
Division 4, Division 5, and Youth Division. So other than that, man, we still got the kids team rocking and rolling. So Rampage Kids is still going strong in the paint, and that's pretty much all we got going on over here.
Love it. Yeah, there's a lot of charity events that are popping up right now. I know there's like a couple of paintballers in the community that have hit some hard times. So it's cool to see the community step up like that.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so up next we got Enzo, episode 8, back on August 10th of 2022. And last time we talked to you, you were running Hypnotic and Enjoy Paintball's D3 team. So what's you been up to since then?
I am now running Cap City Charge, D4 team, still based out of Outlaw in Austin. Yeah, just kind of dialed it back a little bit. Hypnotic got pretty big, and same with the Enjoy thing. So big just on a roster scale, and it was hard to manage. And since then, I've had a kid and took on some new roles at work, so I had to try to find a balance there to make it work and still have fun and enjoy paintball and not just be pulling what little hair I have left out over managing it.
Yeah. I mean, Hypnotic definitely got you had 4 or 5 lines at one point?
We had 4 was the most. It was a lot of people to manage. I was pretty much doing all of the finances, operation, all that stuff. So yeah, it was got a little big there.
That's a ton. So now Cap City, y'all are just competing locally, right? You're not doing NXL or anything like that?
Still up in the air. We might try to do Cup, but yeah, we're just focusing on USXPL. Yeah, just have a good core group of guys and not trying to do anything too crazy with it. Just have a really solid D4 line and hopefully win an event by the end of the year. Kind of scratching that surface, and yeah, I'm ready for it.
Managing one line is hard enough, much less 2, 3, 4. I tried to manage 2 lines one time back in 2019, and I will never do it again.
Dude, I'll never do it again. It was too much.
Way. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it was. I love all those guys, and but it was too much for me to take on. So, but I'm happy now. I'm not that I wasn't happy then, but I'm enjoying paintball much more right now, which is fun.
Yeah, good to hear. So anybody listening, if you have been on the show before, we're on the same Discord as before. If you need the link to hop on, message me. I'll send that to you right now. But yeah, we're just kind of connecting with everybody, getting everyone together. Last year was a huge success, and thought we'd do it again. I know a lot of people are also traveling since Atlantic City is a day. Well, I guess technically the playoffs for the Lone Star Major are a day earlier, so I know a lot of people fly out today. So yeah, up next in seniority is Cooper. You were on episode 44, April 20th of last year. So Cooper, what have you and TKO been up to since then?
Well, we just got second at the USXBL Lone Wolf layout, which was really fun. I will admit that was really, really fun. And very weird layout. There was like V and everything up the center. It was crazy. And then we've been practicing a lot, getting better as a team. And then we've just been rocking and rolling and getting through and through and through. So
sweet. You guys have also been playing in the NXL this year, right?
Yes. We got first at Texas. We got first at Texas since last Lone Wolf. Or sorry, not Lone Wolf, Lone Star.
Nice.
That was good. That was fun.
Cool, dude.
The last one that just happened, the Mud Bowl?
Yes.
Oof.
I wouldn't call it a mud. I wouldn't call it a mud bowl. I would say ICPL is a mud bowl.
Fair enough.
Very fair. So Cooper, you guys, what's next for y'all? You're going to be just focusing on USXBL up until Cup, or?
We're gonna do the champions. Sorry, not the champions. The challengers. So.
Gotcha, and that's coming up in like what, 2 weeks or something?
2 weeks? Yeah, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, cool. Good luck to y'all. I know that
you.
y'all are also, I mean, like super involved in the fundraiser for Grayson.
Yes.
Which
Very.
for anybody who's listening that hasn't heard about it, I know it's been posted just about everywhere, especially in the Texas pages. But for anybody who's not aware, one of the TKO kids, Grayson Manning, he was hit by a truck on Sunday and has just been in surgery after surgery since then. But it's from all of the updates that we've been getting, it seems like he's been the surgeries have been pretty successful. I'm looking at the GoFundMe page right now that Matt Hodges set up. The goal was $10,000 and it's currently at over 30,000. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, the community's stepping up huge. And for anybody who is wanting to support, I'm putting the link here in the chat as well.
And just so everybody knows, we actually picked Grayson up this year for Texas, NXL Texas, and then we were having him for the rest of the USXBL, and he normally plays in down at LAX with Team 13, part of the Beer Cats and Soda Cats. Especially last year, that's where we met him when Cooper and the TKO boys got to play them 3 out of 4 finals at Bunkerfest last year. So he's in. I know we're all praying for him. Talking to Mindy and Matt. He's went through 3 surgeries on Sunday. Today was kind of a healing day. One of the last things she kind of just posted, an update that they unfortunately they have identified a spinal cord damage, which is new. They found out today. So tomorrow they're putting in a feeding tube directly to make sure that way he's good. And then he's going to be on a ventilator and a halo. So they just ask for prayers and and anything you guys can do, like you just said earlier, there's multiple, you got GoFundMe, you got the meal train, as well as I know Wade and those guys and some other stuff is already, they're in the works on a few things, and so is Matt Hodges and those guys down at LAX. They're looking at putting together something as well, kind of a fundraiser. So, I want to shout out to everybody, pitching in and saying prayers for him. So, we got long road ahead, but want to thank everybody for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, kind of moving forward. Next on our seniority, Tim just jumped in. What's up, Tim? How's it been going with you?
Dang, dog, I haven't been in the paintball world in a while. I don't hear my real name often, dude. What's up, baby?
And the
How
last
y'all
time,
feeling?
yeah, we're doing good, man. The last time you were on the show was episode 41 at the end of March last year, right after you got that MVP in the first Bunkerfest event. So how's it been since then, man?
Stop playing with me, bro. First off, before I move on, man, just shout out to that dude and who's giving the info, because I've been seeing all the posts. I'm actually gonna throw something in that GoFundMe, but that shit's sad as hell. So I'm glad that I was able to at least get a little bit of insight of what's going on, because I keep seeing that. So thoughts and prayers to little homie's family. Yeah, dude, I haven't played paintball since like February, because I've been on tour. But I felt like I would be doing my boy Christian a disservice by not to come in and say what's up, say congrats on the consistency, bro. I check in from time to time and you keep me kind of in the loop with what's going on in Texas paintball. So yeah, dude, I miss it. The boys are playing semi-pro and I'm playing with my thumbs. So, it's hard to be away from paintball, but life's going pretty good, so I can't complain.
Yeah, tell us more
What are you
about that.
doing?
You've been on tour, or see these photos of like these like full stadiums that you've been appearing for. So you got to tell us more about that, man.
Yeah, well, sorry, I got distracted by this cutie up here with the porn stash. What's up, Sky? Um, yeah, no, dude. So obviously we talked about the music and stuff when I was on the pod last time. But yeah, I've been working with this country rapper. His name's Upchurch. He's got like a huge following, and he invited me to be like his direct support on tour. So we've done like 30 cities so far. I got like 9 left. Yeah, and it's pretty crazy, bro. Like I knew I was gonna rock it. You know what I mean? But the reception has been pretty insane. I mean, all my streams have like doubled. I'm getting booked for bigger and different stuff for after this tour. So yeah, man, 10 years of hard work, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like paintball, bro. Like, you know, I had been playing for like 4 years when I started playing D3 and above that, but I just, you know, wanted to drill harder than everybody, and I played every Saturday, and I would, you know, shoot cones and run and gun by myself. And then with time, I was able to keep up with my teammates and skip a couple steps. But with the music shit, it was the opposite, where I did all that for so long that I didn't think I was ever going to catch like a big break. But, you know, it came through, and we making some money. We making some fans, baby. So, yeah, it's good, man. And I was just telling the boys the worst part about it is not playing paintball. Everything else is gravy, but I miss the sport so tremendously. It rocks me in my plums, dude. You know, I'm itching, and yeah, I'm hopefully I can go get a fun day in soon. But yeah, you know, and shout out Outlaw, bro, and NXL eat my butthole because they went 3-1 at the last
yeah.
event. They didn't move on to Sunday. We ain't with that, dude, you know? And I'm sorry for saying that. I see there's kids in here, my bad. But yeah, no, shout out Outlaw, man. And it's been cool to see the boys grow, and I'm you know, I miss them, and when I can get back to it, I will. I love paintball, and I love all y'all, dude, and I just love being a part of this community. And so I saw you were doing this tonight, and I was like, dude, I gotta at least come by and say what's up and say congrats, dude, because you are the minority when it comes to this media stuff. Most people give up. I think they say most people don't ever make it to 20 episodes in a podcast, right? So you have gone so far and above and beyond that, dude, and you should be proud of yourself. And it's really cool what you're doing. And yeah, you just make the community tighter, dude. And I'm glad that I was able to be a guest on this show. And like with the consistency you had, it's pretty cool to say that that's the homie. And yeah, keep killing it, my guy.
I appreciate it, man. I've been following your stuff that you've been posting with all the, you know, the crowds, and it's been impressive. We've been following that. It's been cool to see, man. Keep it up. Keep chasing it. Paintball is going to be here with open arms whenever you find yourself with a free weekend, man.
Absolutely, dude. And just know I always talk about paintball with all these like other rappers and famous people that I meet. I'm always like, they're like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, paintball, dude. Get with it or get out my face, dog. You know what I mean? And I pull up the videos and I pull up all the tournaments and all that. So yeah, I'm always gonna hold it down for the sport. And I'm just so grateful that I'm a part of this community, man. Even though I've been a little bit distant. I can't wait, you know, for when I can get back to it. And what sucks for the boys is they're all ranked semi-pro, but I'm still ranked D3, baby. So D4, I'll see you soon, my guys. Let's go.
He's unlocked the secret.
That's it, man. But yeah, congrats, Christian. I literally just wanted to come and say what's up, dude.
Appreciate you, homie.
Like I said, man. 20 episodes. They say no, most podcasts, I think it's like 98% of podcasts never make it to 20, bro. So look at you shining, putting that thing on their forehead, baby. Keep it up, dog.
See, can we
Yo.
talk about something? I played a tournament with this guy. I've known him for a couple years now, and today, just now, is the first time I have ever heard his real name.
Really?
I did not know. Yeah, you're just T. You've been always just been T.
Dude, it's weird. It's only people who like see me on like my name on rosters and stuff. That's so funny. I didn't know that, Sky.
No idea.
I figured just because of APPA and all that. But yeah, when he said it, I was like, that's so weird, bro. Because like even my family calls me T. But like, yeah, unless I'm at court or somebody's
my bad
getting me roster checked at an event, I don't hear my real name too often. But I mean, I remember when I talked to Christian about it, he was like, okay, right on. Well, I'm just gonna use your real name. I was like, yeah, just don't too. Also, it's cool.
My bad, man. I think it's the teacher.
No,
in me.
You're good, dude. No, dude, my name makes me sound distinguished. Like I could have went to like Baylor or something. So we'll rock it out for now. You know what I mean? It makes me way more of like a high class citizen. So
Ivy League.
Ivy
Yeah.
League, bro. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all. Sky, good seeing your pretty
seeing that.
face, my dude. You know it's love always.
Good luck, man.
Christian, respect, man. And yeah, I can't wait to get back, man. I'll see y'all on the field when I get back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking some time, my man.
Let
Alrighty. So I love it. Jaybird doing drills out there.
Love it.
All right. So Skylar, you're up next. You were on with us with Brian, episode 70, mid-October, right after y'all won USXBL.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be on this with us, but I think he's working right now. I'm gonna call him later and say some possibly unkind words to him. But I'm just kidding. I love that dude. Miss him dearly. I'm actually kind of in the same boat as Enzo. That was Enzo's earlier, right? The shot guy. Yeah. Played a lot of paintball last year. Had a lot of fun. Did some great things with the Notorious guys, and then kind of dropped the ball a little bit at the end there. But it happens. It's sports, right? Everybody's competing as hard as they can, and we were too. We just kind of ran out of steam, and people caught up. We let it happen. It was unfortunate, but we had a great year. This year, a lot of things were kind of up in the air. There was some other goals, life goals that needed to have my attention, just as well as anybody in this group chat, that paintball takes a lot of time and money. And when you start getting into your late 20s, early 30s, you have the money, but you don't really have the time. And that it becomes an issue really quickly. So it just came down to not having enough days in the week, or hours in the day, and had to make the call. And hey, look who's here. Had to make the call and kind of step away for a little bit, focusing on flight school, and things are going really good. I've been flying a lot and making really good progress, and at a place where I didn't think I could possibly be 6 months ago. So if I hadn't have made that decision, I wouldn't be where I'm at. But I do miss paintball dearly. So when you messaged me, it was the same thing. It was like, yeah, I miss everybody in this whole community a lot. So let me at least show my face, say, hey, if you're watching this and I know you, I probably love you a lot. Unless you're a strange outlier, then I don't. But I love most of you, and I miss you guys, and I'll be back someday.
Yeah, I hear you there, man. I know Chris, who just joined us. What's up, Chris? I know when we did this the 1 year celebration last year, and we had a bunch of different guys, coming in and out. It was just cool to be able to connect with everybody. Like, we had ranging from like Clint Riddle and Niles to like Ryan Gray, like guys all up and down and in between, the hierarchy of paintball, and all just getting to connect with each other, just because we're all, everybody's connected through the show, which is something that's been really cool to be able to provide that kind of community, and bring Texas together, and even some other players and individuals outside of Texas, like Ahal, the head ref of the NXL, Mike Bianca, even Tom Cole, the president of the NXL, is now in the Pits alumni. So it's cool to bring everybody together, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even know the event was this weekend until you said it just now, and I was talking to Jesse, just checking in on him, right? Like, we go way back from like X Factor D2 days, back in 2012 or whatever it was, 2011. Right. And yeah, I was like, yeah. So what's the deal? Like, how'd the rest of your tournament go at Texas? Because I played and we got knocked out, and I went home. It was miserable, right? You were there, and yeah, he's like, yeah, they had to cancel everything. I had no idea. I've been so out of the loop. So it's good to kind of touch base and at least hear what's going on from somebody who knows what they're talking about.
It's definitely, I mean, just like you said, it's a lot of time, but thankfully I'm at a point right now where I have that time, and I'm able to, continue doing this, and I'm just kind of running with it while I still can.
For sure.
So yeah, looks like, so we're right now, Chris, we're kind of doing what we did last year, where we're going in order of seniority as far as like what episode you were on, and just kind of connecting with everybody, see where they are. So Chris, I think you're up next with episode 18, back on October 19th of 2 years ago now. So So, Chris, it's been a little bit. I know we talked to you a little bit last year for the 1 year, but how's it going with Under Industries and with being the general manager over at Giant?
Everything's going good. Like I made my post the other day, man. All I do is from sun up to sundown paintball. Like literally, that's it. Like either be under or the field or getting stuff ready for next season. Like all day, every day, just paintball, paintball, paintball. It's literally all I do. So I'm blessed in that aspect. Very busy, say the least of it. But I mean, it's part of the gig. So I just wanted to drop in and say happy birthday, and
yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Congratulations on 2 years.
Yeah, it's been. Episode 104. That's a long time, man.
Yep.
So what do you got in the works right now? Are you just kind of going week by week with Under and with Giant, or how has Bunker Fest kind of been taking a back burner for now, or what's all in the works?
I mean, like I told everybody online, is like I ran out of money. Bunker Fest ran out of money. I expended the war chest with doing everything we did last year. No regrets. It sucked. Having that 80 grand deficit sitting on. Quit. But it's part of the growth. Taking the year off has been good because I've been able to watch a lot of stuff and others and how things have progressed and gone. So it only is going to make us stronger going into next season. I know we're going to have a big announcement after Chicago NXL. I got a lot of big things planned. We've been working with a lot of key individuals in the industry to make some really fun things happen, and look forward to talking about that later on. So,
all right.
It
But,
was a
100%,
lot of
man.
fun
Like
while it lasted.
it was, and it was like one of those lifelong dreams, if you will, to do that. I remember being in Oklahoma, setting up a shitty little field in my backyard, and getting to make that almost full circle 20 something years later. Great opportunity, huge learning curve, and all the people that we brought on board made it amazing. The team is phenomenal, and they're all looking forward to coming back next year. And we've got a bunch of new faces that we're going to bring on, hopefully some other top tier talent to really make an even bigger splash for 2025. So, just
I will say, Chris, if you go back into that tournament space again and get back to a point where you're running something like Bunker Fest, I gotta say the stickers that y'all had at every tournament, like a commemorative sticker, please keep doing that because they're on my water bottle still to this day, and they were awesome. So
that was one of the things. Like I remember growing up with early days, like MPPL and PSP and a lot of the offshoot tournaments. Everything had a vibe. Everything had a swag to it. Everything had something to commemorate that experience because you might not get to do the rest. And so looking from that perspective, like when I'm doing all the artwork and I'm doing the collabs and whatnot, is like, if you only play the first one, I want you to have the memory or that token or some keepsake that will follow you for hopefully, years to come. And when it's all said and done, you're like, man, that was a badass time. I had a great time. I got to, make memories with my friends. And that kind of is like, going into Giant, where like a lot of these kids, I told them like making money's easy. Like you can wake up and fucking be a complete retard and make money. But what's difficult is making memory. And in our space, to me, the more memories you can make, the easier it becomes to making money. And if you can sell memories, constantly making good memories with individuals, to me, they're going to keep coming back. They're going to want more. They're going to want to keep being part of that space, regardless of the cost. And I just seen a podcast, where a lot of what we do is tribalism, and the escape for us to go be with our boys is that tribal society. That for a lot of us, that's all we care about. Using paintball as a catalyst to that tribalism is something that I've kind of latched onto in my thought process going into 2025. And wanting to continually breed that at literally the time that you get out of your car, having a good time, to the time that you leave and get back in your car. And more that we can do with that, then the more successful we're going to be for the future.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean,
and
it
I
really is.
love making that kind of stuff, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. And walking around all the different events that I go to during the year, I can see little pieces of me with everybody. It's a great feeling. I got to keep a level headed because I love seeing the Bunker Fest logo sprinkled all over the tournament series and Woods Ball and all of those spaces
For
that we
sure.
get to kind of be a part of.
Definitely.
Yeah, you nailed it with that tribalism, man. I was kind of talking about just different groups of friends the other day with one of my other friends, and it was like, oh yeah, actually, the majority of people who I've been in their weddings, traveled with
Yeah.
these dudes all over the place. My best friends. The conversation was, who would be your groomsmen, and it was like 90% paintball players, which
Yeah.
a man in your 30s saying that, it's like, oh, okay, like yeah,
Like
that's how to do
most
gym
of
back.
my good friends, they all came from the military, and I mean, unfortunately, a lot of them are no longer here with me. From a lot of suicide is a big piece, and then you kind of grow away. But paintball's always been something that's been in my life, even in my military days. And a lot of my best friends, like I know I could pick up the phone right now, call Travis, and be like, "Hey, I need you here now," and he'd be on a flight. And I know
Mhm.
for a lot of my paintball friends, it's almost the exact same. Where, hey man, I'm just having a rough go, and I need someone to bullshit with. All right, man, like,
Yep.
what's up?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing about paintball that and I don't know, maybe other sports are like that. Maybe lacrosse is like that, or motocross, or whatever. But I know for sure paintball has that economy of friendships that are just unlike anything else that I've experienced since leaving the Marine Corps.
Yeah. I mean, the only friends' couches that I've lived on, and there's been a couple, have all been from paintball.
Yeah, like it was funny because
this is giving back.
when I was in North Carolina, I was stationed out there. I slept on John Tinker's couch, and at the time, he was with Trauma and with all of those dudes in Gridlock and all those guys. So I would come back in between deployments and like, hey Tinker, like I'm in Greensboro this week. Can I just crash on the couch? He's like, yeah, dude, like whatever. And like we'd go out have dinner with like him and his old lady, and getting to meet the other Gridlock guys, and like at that time I was like, man, I want to go play for Gridlock and Raiden and Trauma. Like I'm going to be a pro. And then the entire CFOA crashed in 2008, and I was like, well, that goes that dream. But I've been able, and like literally, I just talked to John Tinker 20 minutes ago about going and playing in Mexico, and I'm like, hey, dude, like spots open if you want to come play, because like he's been like a lifelong friend, and like I told him, I was like, I'm at the point where like I'm gonna start doing stuff. Like I'm not gonna wait for anybody anymore. Like I'm going. Like you coming or not? Because I know my days are numbered. So like I'm kind of scared in that aspect because it's like the more that I've been playing, the longer it takes to recover. And I know I don't take care of myself by any means.
Yeah, you old bastard.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I
What's up,
know like earlier this year, back in February, I did like a whole weekend trip up. I was either February or January, but I did the glow in the dark event up at Fit. I think it was the very first one, and I actually slept on the Harrison's couch. Katie and Cooper here.
Yes.
Having met them at the field, like at events, maybe a few times ever, and just their parents, like knowing who I was, like I knew who they were, like, and just immediately having that connection just because of paintball. And I don't know of anyone else, like any other connections out there where it's like, hey, you've met this person like in person, maybe like you can count on one hand how many times you've met them in person, and it was just passing. But because like you're both involved in paintball, exactly like their character, and it's just so cool to be able to do that. So I do want to talk. Looks like Clint is joining us, Clint Riddle. So we're gonna talk to him a little bit. Clint, you were last on episode 39 back in March 15th of last year. So Clint, I know you've been doing a lot of stuff with Hormesis and like iconic awards and all that. Like it seems like your involvement in paintball has been growing significantly. So what you been up to since we talked?
Oh man, can everyone hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep up with you, dude. Happy birthday. Golly. Yeah, man. Just doing a lot of the posters for like the elite tours. That's been a lot of fun. Every time I finish,
those look really good. I like those, like that old school, like 1920s, almost like stuccoed themes to them. Like
Yeah,
it
man.
really looks awesome.
Yes,
Thanks,
I
man.
love them.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever whenever Bunkerfest boots up again, let me know.
Hey man, like like it's always crazy because like a lot of the stuff that I make myself, but I'm always, especially with that kind of stuff, I'm always open to like working with other individuals because like it's just the message, and the more ways that we can put the message out, I'm all about, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm always wanting to work with more people, and especially like at Bunkerfest. Not to hijack you real quick, you know,
No, you're
Bunkerfest is a
good.
community, man, and like more people that I can
Yeah.
bring into this, like I'm all about. So
I felt that I played one of them. I can't remember. I think it was the second one, and really felt that community vibe. It was great for paintball, man. So I appreciate you doing that. I didn't go exactly how you wanted, but I do think the community aspect was felt very strongly. So
yeah.
and the free vendors thing that was super dope. I think.
I mean, like I got to see Skylar at ICPL, and Skylar ran the West Coast Paintball Series in Oregon at the time.
Oh man!
And this was like 2011, 12. And I was like, hey, Skylar, like I got these stupid headbands and my goggle straps. Can I come be a vendor? And he's like, yeah. And so for like the first year, I was like the only vendor. And then another one showed up. And I remember that like being able to have that little incubator space, because like without that, we would have never really got anywhere. And so being able to do that for a lot of the other companies, you know, like use Uno as an example, you know, doing the jerky thing. Now you see him at NXLs and whatnot. And he's like, hey man, thanks for letting me be part of this. I'm like, nah, dude, like I was right there with you. Like I know the struggles. I know how hard it is to get your face in front of people. And if I can have, you know, an opportunity to give people that, then fuck it, why not, dude? Like it ain't gonna, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think those things, and I think of another series is doing that also. So and yeah, that's just super cool. I don't know why. I know Dangle ran into some trouble at NXL.
Yeah.
Trying to sling some merch. So I know you got to follow the rules and stuff, but the cost for booths at NXL is
they are pretty penny. They are pretty penny.
Yeah. Anyway, so doing that, fun new projects. I'm working on not just artwork, but actually writing something for the next Gap magazine.
Okay.
So I know they're starting that. I'm sure Philip and Alex have already started stuff on that. But yeah, man, that was so cool to see. Like, I started with little zines, just sort of printing little zines on my own and handing them out, and then Alex was like, "Let me give this a shot," and just destroyed it with the Great American Paintball. So
that thing's cool, man. I picked one up. They're great.
I miss paintball magazines. Yeah. I remember going to the store and just trying to find like Action Pursuits, like, you know, in the bathroom had like 3 different magazines. It didn't matter how many times you looked at them, you just keep staring at them. Like those are always awesome to have.
Those things are like my prized possession, man. They literally are up there in my trophy case with all my medals. I have
Right?
some rarities you can't find anymore, man. I do not let anybody touch them. Like, stay away from them.
Yeah.
Those are like the only things you could actually afford as a kid to get.
Yeah.
That's the reason I started playing.
And the DVDs.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got the DVDs?
The DVDs.
Oh, you got the DVDs. Nice, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta get Jawbreaker, dude. That's this young buck. I don't know if he'll know that one. Have you
I'm looking right over, like I know I can't, so, but I've got almost. I think I have every Dirter video right above on my mantle.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've got.
I love it.
And then I've got all the Dirter videos there, and then in another closet, I've got a lot of the War Pig and
the other. That's old.
The other guys that made Trauma Head. Thank you. I've got a bunch of their videos.
Going to the 50 Dorito.
Yeah.
Then we go to the field.
Monkey with the gun. Monkey with the gun.
Yeah, Chris, I think in one of the Titans prize baskets, you gave us like DVD copies of like was it the Sunday Hero for a Day, I think, and then maybe some other stuff. I know Sasha, you gave me a DVD as well. I've got all of that back there. But yeah, it's cool to see all of this media stuff like starting to come back in all of these different mediums. So Clint, like for you, has it like kind of been like a quick acceleration as far as your involvement with Hormesis? Like it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere and then suddenly your stuff was everywhere.
Yeah, man. Like that, I don't know. I feel like you might be able to empathize with this, or several of you guys, but I just got like a DM from Ollie one day, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like texting my brother, like, dude, that's who I'm talking to right now. You know, like just that sort of freak out moment. And he's like, yeah, I just want some artwork. I think that was after the Iconic stuff. So I really do have to give credit to Quinn with Iconic, because he, like, I just was doing stuff. I'm a high school art teacher, and I was doing stuff just that interested me for like my students' projects. And I did a poster type thing, and he was like, hey, you want to do my icon of the year posters? And it's like, yeah, man. So it just that's really where it spiraled from. I think. Hang on. Carl also reached out to me for a project that he hasn't released yet. So Carl Markowski was like, hey, I don't want to spoil the project. You guys should just get on and be like, hey, man, we want to see the project that Clint did. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to do anything with it or not, but yeah, I think he was kind of like my foot in the door. And then, yeah, once Hormesis hit, it was like, you know, I always have work. Pretty much anytime I send them stuff, they're like, okay, let's do this now too. And I'm like, yes.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
it's cool to see like you're pretty much the only person that I know within paintball that is doing the things that you do, as far as like this kind of art. Like there's graphic designers out there, but no one else is really doing like art pieces outside of like logos for teams and companies and all that. So it's really cool that you know, they're all of these paintball mediums like Hormesis is like, hey, we're gonna shop, you know, I guess recruit from within and find other paintballers that we can support by throwing our business your way.
Yeah, they're pretty great about that. Like you look at most of their staff, like, you know, I don't know the full story on Miko. I know that there's, you know, they knew each other. So I'm sure there was just a conversation, but Philip, who works for them now, like from what I understand, Ollie just approached him about something, and it just sort of sprouted from there. And it's really cool to see that. And like you with Technic.
Yeah, Technique and Project. Yeah,
Technique. Sorry. Yeah. So like, it's really cool to see like not only pros within the sport, like creating these entities, these companies, but also them like hiring within the industry. Like that's super cool.
Yeah, for sure. So Katie, I know you've been waiting for a little bit, so we're going to skip to you. Ryan, we'll get back to you in a second. So Katie was on with the Dallas Dolls all girls youth division team, episode 92, back at the end of March. So, Katie, we got you on right after y'all played, your first USXBL event together. So how have the Dolls been doing?
We've gotten 6th from 8th place. We are rocking and rolling. We're working to the TPO in 2 weeks. So a lot of practice. We are ready. Excited.
Gotcha. Are y'all doing it at XTPL? Is it going to be more 3v3 youth stuff, or are you getting into any 5-on-5?
3v3s. We are doing more 3v3.
Cool. And how big or how many girls are in the Dallas Dolls now?
10 or 11. So we've got 2 lines.
That's so cool. The youth division, I know Chris, like you've seen the youth division movement in Texas, but it's good. Yeah, it's so cool that now we have like an all girls team. Yeah. Like I never would have imagined that we would have gotten to this point as
you got to give it out to Sherry though, because Sherry did start with that. So I mean, you got to give props to Sherry because she was one of the first to do it here in Texas, and it's good now seeing it more and more come out and more of the young kids playing and having space to play in Texas. And I think it's an awesome thing. I mean, something definitely we need because like a lot of us are starting to hit that 30, 40 mark. And now it's those new kids who've got to come, up and take the reins, if you will.
Oh yeah. Well, it's cool to see that this is where we are with the next generation, and there's more not just kids, but girls in the sport, and we're seeing that side of it being built up.
Yeah.
All right. So up next we got Ryan Sartor here, who I think let's see, what episode I have you on? Episode 68, beginning of October of last year.
Make sure you ask him how his move's going.
Oh, shut up, Chris.
All right, dude. Well, I want to say happy birthday, but I got to get out. So everybody appreciate it. Clint, I sent you a message. Hit me up whenever you get a chance to, because I'd love to talk. And then happy birthday again.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Y'all be safe. Take care. Happy birthday.
Later, bud.
All right. Yeah. So, Ryan, we had you on episode 68 right before the Bunkerfest championships last year. And you were one of the commentators on the webcast, or also doing, basically whatever the staff needed you to do throughout the event. So, what have you been up to since then?
So I'm no longer in Texas. I moved to Mississippi, and my home field is LA Extreme, where the Hurricanes play. Yeah, I know, Skyler. So I am there now. I actually just played 2 days out there. Great field. It's awesome out there. The Canes are super cool and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's where I'm at now. And so after commentating Bunkerfest, I was able to commentate at World Cup for the Commanders Cup with Matty Marshall on one day, and then Matty Marshall and Mike Bianca the second day. And that was really awesome. That was a cool experience to be up there and do that. So, yeah, that's what's going on so far.
Awesome. Are you doing any playing?
Sorry.
Oh, wait. Who said that? What, Skyler?
Skyler, what prompted the move, I think is what he said.
So military. I was going to retire and decided not to because I want to retire in the Panhandle, Florida area. So it kind of moved us to get closer there. So I literally live in Gulfport, like 5 minutes from the beach. Like I go walk to it. And so it's a good move for me and my family. And I'll probably retire out here and stuff like that. So, yeah. And what was your next question, Chris?
What have you been able to play with the team since then? Are you still playing with VM or?
So I played Texas with VM. We took first place in D3 5-man, which is always expected out of us. We always strive. If we're not getting first, then we did something wrong. AC, I'm trying to squeak in. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make that one just because of my move and stuff like that. But yeah, I am started playing out there again. And I'm just trying to get my grind time. And I'm literally 45 minutes from the field. That's the closest I've ever been to a field, a good field. It's always, when I was in Texas, it was 4 hours to fit, 3 hours to outlaw, 3 hours to set, or X Factor. It was always the drive out of the way, just trying to get somewhere good. So there is a team down there, and I'm going to start playing with probably the Beer Cats. I'm asking me to come out. And I'm just trying to get my spins near the Hurricanes. And that's my biggest goal, is to grind with those guys and, see where destiny takes me from there. So
when am I going to get my Sartor Hurricanes jersey, bro?
Hey, you know what? If it happens, and I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't, but if it happens, I'll make sure I hit you up first.
Thank you.
Hey, it's a dream. I'm not getting younger, but my body's feeling good. I've always had the dream. I think everybody always has, I think, the dream. No matter if you play for fun, and you have the highs and the lows. I think if everybody takes paintball as a sport, they always want to be at the top level. That's the bottom line. You want to play with your friends and try and get to that top level with the friends. But at the end of the day, I think everybody individually wants to at least step on that field saying, I made it, I'm a pro, and then grind out from there. And nowadays, age is not really a thing. I mean, you look at some of the guys, they're playing top level paintball, late 30s, 40s. If your body can handle it, you have the paintball IQ, you can communicate, you can work as a team. Being a mature person is just as benefit as being a young, fast guy who get in snake.
I mean, look at Austin Notorious' new pickups just from this past weekend. Like one of Skylar's teammates, the Boogeyman, Gio Cardell, he's 37 years old. And he's about to make his pro debut.
In all fairness, though, he does not play like a 37-year-old.
No, he plays like a pissed off teenager.
Yes, he does. Like he's pop sliding, knee sliding, like all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, he's playing good, but
he's a genetic anomaly.
I mean,
there's no way that guy is not like half cyborg.
Yeah, back to back MVP.
Hey, I commentated that team several times. Watch at Bunkerfest, and the things he did. That whole squad, Skylar, that you had, that whole squad. I was like, the things you guys did were pretty amazing. Even the one match, you guys were down like 0-4, and like, oh, this game's over. These guys lost. I think it was the second event.
Zone.
And then you guys came back and won.
Zone
yeah.
The finals. Yeah, that was a crazy event, man. There was a lot of stuff going on with the team. Like we were just kind of in a weird space. We had lots of things going on outside of the tournament, and we all kind of came together. Like I had some family stuff pop up right before then that like really wasn't pretty, and just to be able to go down and then come back up and figure it out and feel that click. I remember walking out to the far box where it was like, if we lost that point, match was over. If we win, we keep going. And I just looked at Brandon. I was like, hey, like, do you believe in us? Do you believe we can do this? Because I do. And he was like, yeah. It's like, cool, let's go do it. And everybody stepped up. It was just, we figured it out. Like, nope, you're not taking this from us. It was a really cool experience. One of my favorite tournaments ever.
Did Chris talk about Bunkerfest stuff?
He gave us a teaser to an announcement date, I guess. Is the best way. He said, coming soon. And
cool.
We'll leave it at that.
I'm looking forward to some stuff for sure. Hopefully we can commentate, see some teams. I really think a lot of teams enjoyed it. Like I saw the competition level was great. Like USXBO is great. XTPLs are great. But Bunkerfest remind me of like the WCPPL. Like the level of competition is so extreme, and like not just Texas teams. You have teams coming from everywhere. I mean, hell, Texas Demolition started in Premier and then went to like D3, and now they're a semi-pro team, and they're still balling hard. Like they're going 2-2s against semi-pro teams. I mean, a bunch of Austin Taurus players. Boogeyman, now he's on the pro roster.
Yep.
Skylar's, driving his way up there. Like everybody you see on these different, like even the young guns. A lot of these kids are now like on the USA teams. Like just you see all this development of people, and healthy competition between leagues. Like is good. Like it just builds up the community, just builds everything up. Tom Cole's he expressed it. He's all about building more leagues. The more leagues we have, the more players we have, the bigger the community, the better for paintball as a whole. So,
yeah, I think really just the last year and a half, like everybody that's been playing for a while now, like pretty much all of us that are in this call, like we saw that the start of last year was the beginning of a major explosion in growth in Texas, especially. And like, it was like Bunkerfest led the charge in that. And it's also great to see that USXBL has picked up pretty much where y'all left off at the end of last season. And they're keeping the ball rolling, and Texas is still going strong. You still see Texas teams at the top in the National League. And, you've got events that are pretty much selling out, not just in USXBL, XTPL, like HTPS is going pretty strong. And
all the 10-mans are doing good. Like they're selling out across the board, 10-mans and 5-mans. I mean, we got ESPN now going to jump in. I mean, everything is building. It feels like 2007 again, 2006 again. Like it feels getting big. And like talking about like Tank Dango he brought up, I remember I don't know if you guys, how old you guys are compared to me, but back in 2006, you go to a tournament, NXL, there was tons of vendors, tiny vendors, like just every little guy was trying to get their niche in. And that was awesome. Then if they wait till it's like, okay, there's only 5 vendors and they're the biggest ones. Now there's like a little vendor here and another little vendor here and another like Dirty Dan's Paintball or whatever. Dirty Dave, Dirty Dan.
Yeah, Dirty Dan, yeah.
Yeah, like another tiny vendor and just popping up. And that's awesome because you want those little spaces for the little guy and then more little guys, more like Uno Jerky. Like, I'm so happy for that guy. He is so cool. I see him all the time, love his jerky. And he's like, hey, man, this is awesome. Like, I saw my cup. He's like, dude, I can't keep jerky. And he closed shop early because he ran out of jerky by Sunday or before Sunday. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hang out.
That's awesome.
So I'm glad to see where the sport's at for sure.
Good problems to have. I mean, I feel like, the young guns thing you were talking about earlier too is another example of just the way that the game as a whole is kind of adapting and understanding that, hey, these people who are in your sport that are playing, at their prime from, let's say, like 18 to 27, right? Like, they're not going to be that age forever. Eventually, they're like Ryan and I, and they get old, and mostly Ryan. But all these different leagues, right? These like young guns leagues, the all girls team, like the girl who was on here earlier, that was super cool. I didn't even know that was a thing until just now, right? Can you imagine if we had that when we were their age, a league where we could go and start and learn, and people weren't going to just shoot us into the ground? Like, when we started, it was brutal. And
it was
made
brutal.
us who we are.
Yeah, you had guys like Sasha out there bonus balling everybody that came on.
The crap out of us, Sasha. But yeah, I mean, could you imagine if we had a springboard like that to facilitate us? Like, it would have been great. I'm happy that they have it. I really am.
Man, they were mean back in the day.
Yeah, they were. But we also have something now too, right? We have these 10-man leagues. We have these ICPL leagues. Like, you're starting to understand, or the community is starting to understand, that once you're in paintball, it's got you hooked for life. You can walk away.
You never quit.
And go do. No, you can't. So,
no retiring.
I'm gonna play paintball in some way, shape, or form at whatever level of frequency until my legs fall off. So like the fact that we have an ICPL to go to or a Masters League, right? Like that's cool. Super cool.
Definitely. Real quick, I do see some guys in the chat saying, hey, Jason Bonner is here in the chat. We also got Dan Shelley says, just dropped by to say congrats. Sup, fellas? Special shout out to Skylar.
Hey, congratulations to Dan Shelley. He just got engaged, right?
He just got married at Disney World.
Married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Married again. Yeah. Congratulations to him. He's super cool.
Yeah,
and the media stuff he's doing, like, is great. The book, how he does his pictures and like how he frames them, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Like everybody who does something a little bit of different, like with your artwork, like every little different thing just adds more flavor and more something added to the community. And that's awesome. Like, it's amazing.
For sure. Funny story, Dan is actually a client of mine. He gets his haircut at my barbershop. And so to watch him throughout this time, I'll see him every like 6 to 8 weeks. Dan, get more haircuts. You need it more often. It's been cool to just hear his story, man, and watch him kind of flourish into something awesome, And he was in, he had shots in the Gap magazine, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. And that thing, I bought one of those. They're awesome, Earned that.
He got photo of the year for Icon Awards.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
It was either him or what's the other guy's name? I'm gonna say it's him because I can't remember the other name. No, it was another bearded dude though. His name escapes me.
It was
Stretch
Dan, Dan won it.
Yeah, I know Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got.
There's a lot of bearded guys like Stretch and Rye, Broshears.
Yeah, Blue.
Burbo has a beard, and Brew has a beard. And
All in Media, I think. I thought it was All in Media.
Is that just a thing? Sasha, is that your next step with the beard? You're gonna get into media?
Ooh, he's in the. He's in the union. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's already
I'm turning out dank memes as fast as I can to translate into t-shirt sales. By the way, since I'm a sponsor of this podcast, I need everybody to go buy a Podrunners Union shirt like the one I'm wearing right now. I've got navy blue because they're collecting dust in my closet along with the Fiesta medals.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you heard it. What's the website that we need to go to, Sasha?
It is podrunnersunion.org. You can also buy an Instagram. I figured out how to do that. I'm totally coming into the 21st century.
There's
I
a
will
link on
be.
Instagram.
There's a yeah, you can go. I think there's something on there, sure. And then USXBL, I will be there when it's in San Antonio, with a big crate full of shirts, and I'll find somewhere to sell them. Hopefully, my kinmen won't chase me off.
I love
I'll
it.
be also doing. I also got invited myself to do commentary, so I can make fun of Christian while he's running around the field, getting shot into the ground by that kid Killer Cam. Probably gonna be bunkering him a lot. I'm guessing, right? Are you playing the event, Christian?
Yeah, I'll be playing that one. Yeah, I'm a little worried about Cam. Not gonna lie, he's been stunting out there.
He's really. I played against him before I hung it up for and just to do walk on rec. And he's so small, like you just can't shoot the kid. Like things are gonna even out when he's like like big like his dad, and it'll be a different ball game. Right now, he's definitely. It's like trying to shoot a gnat. Like it's impossible.
Yeah, getting
He's
one
really
ball by a
good.
gnat, more like it. That dude he's on fire, and he's gonna go get it done out in Europe. He just made U16 for Team USA, and he's
Made it?
12.
That's awesome.
He's 12, and he made U16, and he's beating
He
out
doesn't play
like
like a.
Yeah.
He doesn't play like a 12-year-old. Shout out to his coaches, Jeremy Zimmerman and especially Jesse Stevens. Like Jesse, there's a lot of talk about like, oh, you're at X Factor, you're around a pro. You're not really around any of the X Factor players, honestly. If you play at X Factor, like the environment is great, and the only guy I see around there, Colt comes every once in a while. Jesse is always there. He's not even on X Factor anymore. You got AC Diesel teaching all these kids how to play. And Jesse's incredible. Like he's just like all these great teams coming out of X Factor. Jesse Stevens, man. I mean, all their hard work, but he's out there just yelling at him, yelling at me to shut up because I'm making fun of him. It's a good time.
Nice.
love it. Yeah, here in the chat, Ryan Gray says congrats. He wanted to jump in, but he's got to get to bed for his 5 a.m. flight tomorrow. So,
He had a good podcast.
Speaking of Diesel, good luck, Ryan. Rooting for y'all for the playoffs, for finishing the Lone Star playoffs, and then of course for the Atlantic City event as well. And then it's like Pat Rayborn is in the chat as well. Says what's up to everybody.
What up, Pat?
Yeah, Pat's a big fan of your background, Sasha.
That thing's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, I got the joy of bunkering him a couple weekends ago. That was pretty great. But because I'm a gentleman, I shot him once in the pack. You're welcome, Pat.
Was it with an ion?
It was with an autococker, wasn't it?
Autococker was this past weekend. I think. I was using an alias actually.
Stingray 2.
Oh.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
gave...
a bad omen to only shoot someone once with an alias.
No,
like,
he bunkered me and he shot me 8 times right before shooting Pat once. So
okay, all right,
he got it in.
I was just caught up in the action. It's non-stop action at paintball. I saw a guy. I'm like, I never get to shoot anyone because I'm not so great at this sport. And there was a guy right there. I shot him. It was poor. I apologized to you afterwards.
No,
right?
don't apologize. Play hard.
And then you had your shirt off later, and it looked like you had some sort of tropical disease. You've been shot so many times.
We've all been there.
The ringworm.
Yeah, I definitely am there right now. I got my ass kicked this past with my that snake playing the divisional layout. My God, that thing! You go in this. For some reason, I was playing the snake, even though I'm 47 years old and like slow and overweight slightly. And man, I just look like this one big bruise. Basically, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, you should have seen us after World Cup of 22 with the wall in the middle, the brick and the 2 wings making the wall. That was big.
Sasha, what hurt more the next day? The bruises from getting shot or your body from playing the snake at 47?
Jeez, dude, in this heat right now, like the thing is I want to be a snake player, but I'm old and 6'2". So, but then, I've learned over the years that I saw Johnny Perchak playing at the old X Factor field in a scrimmage dynasty in X Factors is like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And it was right before Archie left as seen in The Best Kids in Texas. And I saw Johnny Perchak playing, and he's like my height, and I'm like, holy shit, that tall dude is playing the snake. I'm getting in there. And ever since I'm trying to make it, but There you go. That's my story, Clint. Sorry. Hope it was entertaining for you.
That was great.
I love it.
I don't get to play
Yeah.
that much anymore. Do people play in shorts yet? Like, it's
Dude.
Texas. This is.
Yeah, if you want to.
I heard someone
feel like
talking
you
about
like
the turf being 150, and I'm like,
Yeah,
It's
that
well.
turf is no joke.
For real. It
I'm
looks
a-
like
I-
Jason
yeah.
Bonner just joined the chat. Jason, you there?
Figuring it out.
Almost.
Oh, there we go.
Jason Bonner, my number one troll on Instagram.
You bet.
He's always cyberbullying me.
You damn right.
Oh, and there he goes. All right. Yeah, we'll get him in a sec.
I just came in to troll you and left.
Yeah. But Sasha playing the snake during this heat is no joke. Like this past weekend, we had the Atlantic City divisional layout up. You know how they have like that weird outside snake where there's like nothing. I tried sneaking around the outside and crawling all the way down. I was crawling so slow that the point was over by the time that I got to the other end, and I just kind of laid there. Like I heard everybody calling kill 5, but I'm secretly still there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a business decision here and just let this one go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, for the people who have been out of the loop, they're doing 2 layouts for this?
Yeah, so the pro layout's going to be blind because they still have to finish the Texas playoffs. So pros are going to be blind, and the blind layout is supposedly going to be real fast so that they can make a real nice product for ESPN. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And that layout's only for divisional guys.
Yeah, that layout's just for everybody except for the pros. So semi-pro, divisional, WNXL, they're all playing that.
Okay, nice.
I have to say that, as a guy who's for some reason designs and sets up fields at X Factor, I'm just blown away by Trojan's creativity with these layouts. Like I never would have thought to do a layout like this. First of all, because if I made an angled, as I've been saying online, I made an angled W like that as a snake, you know that Dylan Strickland would immediately grab the hammer and move that thing around. Like he does stuff and people will put up with it because it's the official NXL layout. Like I have to be real conservative or Jesse gets mad at me for not having enough lanes off the break or whatever for him to do his drills and stuff.
Yeah, well,
It's a fast layout. It looks fun.
I think you were validated big time, so I'm gonna vouch for you, Sasha. Anytime someone tries to pick up a hammer, I'm saying no, just leave it.
Okay. I know Dylan's pretty big. It's hard to stop that guy if he puts his mind to something.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
With the hammer.
So Jason just got here. Jason, you're I think the only person that's been on the show twice outside of the round table episodes. You've gotten 2 of your own episodes. Once was episode 15 back in September of 2022, and then again episode 69 October 11th and 12th, right after y'all won the Bunkerfest series. It was both you and Casey Harris that came on.
No, you put us on before. You tried to
Oh,
jinx
it was right before. That's right. I mean, you still ended up with the series win, so.
I'm so superstitious, dude. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, so how things been since then? I know Greed kind of went through a transition there. So how have things been this season? What have y'all been up to?
Just trying to get back to the podium. It's never easy starting over. So got to talking to Evan Stein and got Jason Sim picked up, and that's been a blessing. He's pretty cool to play with, and I've never really met him before, but got a few other dudes as well, and getting Odom to play some before he went off to play with the Roughnecks and all that stuff. And we get him back now that he's done with football till NFL picks up. So it's been fun, just trying to get our bearings and get our wheels back underneath us and get it all figured out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to talk to Hinman because I think having 2 Asians on the same roster should be illegal. There should be a cap there.
Well, so Jason hurt
Different type
himself.
of Asians.
Yeah, right. Jason hurt himself at the first USXBL, and he was out for a couple weeks. He like strained his MCL or something like that. And then I want to say Evan went to practice a couple of weeks before the second USXBL and did the same exact thing. So I don't know what's going on with the Asians and their MCLs, but that's that's kind of been our like curse here lately. So hopefully we can get them both back for something here soon. But Jason's been playing pretty good. He got some staph or something out at that ICPL event, so he's dealing with that now. But otherwise,
like actual staff.
yeah, like bug bites turned into staph.
Oh.
Enzo got an infection off of like a scratch or a cut on his thumb. So, I mean, that stuff was nasty, dude. Like, go on my Instagram and look at the videos. The mud's terrible. It was gross.
I've got some photos. So Ryan Brand asked me to clean his gun out after the event, and he stuck the gun like still covered in mud back in the case, closed it up. We opened it up a week later. There was mold growing on it everywhere.
Yes. My shoes were that way. I screwed up and threw them in a paint box, and when I went and opened it, it looked like they had my husky hair all over them, and I was like, there's no way those dogs haven't looked at those cleats. So it was gross. It was so bad.
You guys just reminded me I haven't opened my gear bag since Texas. And
yeah, don't do that.
Just throw it away. Just throw it away.
Oh, no.
How many times we watched? Just throw it away.
Cleats gone, pads gone. Yep.
So what you do is just open it up and throw it on top of your car and just go to the car wash.
Yep.
And just do that.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Yeah, that ICPL was bad. That was really rough.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's because the pros went out and said, no, we're not going to play out the playoffs for Texas. And then, the weather was like, well, we're going to get you anyway. And they came right back for the next one.
Yeah.
The paintball gods don't forget, man.
Oh, no.
Well, the thing that sucks is that place is in like a floodplain anyway. So there's some dams or something up the way that whenever they decided to let all the water out, I think it completely washed out the hybrid field down there. And then they had to adjust some boundaries or something on that. I'm not sure, but anyway, it was. If you can remember the last PSP, this is a replay of that, basically.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, hopefully the Atlantic City and the rest of the events this year, we're gonna have a little bit better weather. I mean, I wouldn't mind some rain at the next USXBL because I know it's gonna be hot.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. It's just going to turn muggy if it rains.
Yeah, the last one was awful. Rained on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday was just awful the whole time. All right, so looks like, and for anybody who's watching or tuned in, like if you want to join Discord, hop on in. Just feel free to come and go as you please. This is a low key thing. Looks like JC's in the chat. Yeah, thanks, JC. Sauce, yeah, the podcast turns 2 years old today. So kind of speaking of what's coming up this week with the Atlantic City, I know they're also ending, or they have to finish out the playoffs for NXL Texas. So I've kind of got that written here for towards the end once we've gotten through everybody that's come and gone as they wanted. So I've got a picture of the playoff bracket for NXL, and let me pull it up and show it off here. I think it's gonna be just judging on, and let me share my screen with y'all so you can see it as well. It should be this one. Here we go. So hopefully y'all can see it. So I've got it here on the stream as well. Let me full this. So, some of these teams, I think they said 6 out of the 10 teams that made Sunday in Vegas did not make Sunday in Dallas. The only four that still made it were X Factor, Heat, Revo, and the Russians. I want to say were the only 4.
I think the Russians made it at Vegas.
Yeah, the Russians got third in Vegas. So. The other 6 teams are all new. Like you'll see, there's no Dynasty, there's no Impact. There's no.
Did Revo make it in Vegas?
Yeah, Revo made it in Vegas. There's no Hurricanes. There's no Aftermath. Like it's almost entirely new teams here. So I always do a little thing with the Titans, like just with the program as a whole. Right before each event, we do like a prelims. Usually it's like a prelims bracket predictions where you submit like what you think the order of each bracket is going to be at the end of prelims. But since we don't have the bracket draws yet, I'm just doing it for the playoffs. So if y'all want to, start thinking about what you think the playoff results are going to be here. I'm going to start giving my predictions. I don't know if y'all want to take a little bit of time just to come up with your own, and we can, have a little bit of fun speculating here. But because it's the playoffs, I am not only doing what I think the results are going to be, I'm going to also do the final score. So let me and do this.
Am I seeing this right? Iron Man only play.
Iron Man, Iron Man went 4-0. So they get the bye.
Okay.
Let me make sure this is going. So I can't do that both. So let me I'm gonna change this up real quick. Just for the stream. Can y'all still see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to let's see here in the chat. Let's see. Victor Abarca is in here. He says,
Victor!
"Congrats on the 2-year anniversary. Keep up the great podcast." Thanks, Vic. Pat asks, chances we see a team go to both finals this weekend. That's gonna be a lot of games that team would have to play. If they play 4 matches on Thursday and then 2, and then potentially 4 for AC, that's gonna be a lot of games.
Last time you have the bye, I think Heat did it, right?
Yeah, but that's a lot of warming up. They'll be.
Yeah, for sure.
I would hate to have to play that team that has all. I mean, just put it in perspective of how we used to play both days at USXBL. I mean, it's awesome to be able to play that many points in a weekend, and they're pro. They can handle it.
Definitely. Yeah. Let's see, JC. Yeah, you can submit your picks. Just hop in the Discord, JC. We'll get you in on this. And then let's see, Scotty West. We need some salsa. Yeah, always, dude. I didn't see you at the last USXBL, but I definitely still want to order some salsa from you. So yeah, everybody here in the call, if you want to participate, just start thinking of your picks. I'm gonna go with the wild card round. I'm picking Diesel. And I'm going to say the score is 4-2. And then in the Blast Camp versus ML Kings, I'm actually going to pick Blast Camp here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say score is, let's go. We're going to say it's a high scoring game, 5-4 Blast Camp.
Ooh, okay.
And then in these 2 matches, so Heat versus X Factor, I'm going to say X Factor. X Factor always plays really low scoring games, so I'm going to say it's 3-2.
So 2-1.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2-1. Yeah.
Don't they have a winning record against Heat overall too?
They do. But Heat also was one of 3 teams to go 4-0 in prelims, which 6 weeks later may or may not mean anything. But X Factor style it's going to be a low scoring game. So I'm going to go 3-2 X Factor. Aftershock damage. Aftershock looks like they're on fire. I'm picking Aftershock for the upset.
They just got Nikki too for all the stat stuff. So I would bet she's gonna help that match out for them.
Yeah.
They'll have Thomas Kim back also.
I like Aftershock a lot, and I think I agree they are playing on fire. But I have to say, if there's a team that is made to just be, damn near unstoppable just based off their off the break shooting, it's Damage, and they've had so much time to practice this layout that Damage was one of the first teams that I thought about when I heard that they were going to be playing the same layout. Like, I just don't think that people are ready for. They played the prelims, right? They played it while people were still kind of learning the field. And this is going to be a completely different look. It's going to go immediately into deep Sunday ball, and Damage has a lot of experience there. And their guns are just, who else is as good at shooting at, as Damage?
And their roster's so so experienced. Like they could have just practiced this field for the past 6 weeks, knowing that they all played in PPL. they all have been around, so they know how to walk fields and communicate. So
Yeah.
The cool thing too is their style of play doesn't really matter if it's wet or dry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. They played it both ways in Texas. So
I could see with that. I could see damage if they beat Aftershock. I could see them winning this and going deep
For sure.
For MAO.
See, that's why I think Aftershock is going to have the edge here because of the 6-week gap. It's going to be immediate winner go home, and I don't know if Damage is going to come out with their guns hot off the break point 1.
I don't know. Everything I've heard from Joey, like they're there to win. Like,
okay,
yeah, but who's not?
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But
I think
agreed.
Aftershock wants this.
But I think like so to sort of counter Christian, like saying like that they would play a little cautious at first. Like I don't know that I've ever seen them play cautious. You know, like they just never put their guns down. Like the Edwards brothers are something else. Their whole team is something. Like you could just talk about Brian Smith, Keith, like Rainey, everybody, man. Chad Bougere, like all that whole team.
I think
Hey, Christian.
What's up, Sasha?
I mean, I'll say with it between Damage and Shock, the thing about Aftershock is their snake player is Hosky, who's still a real rookie, and he's going up against Keith Brown, who has been dominating the snake, and this is a very snake dominant layout.
What I'll say to counter that though is Hosky just played over in Europe with the Bad Boys, made I think the semifinals on this layout.
But that was a turf layout, so I think a lot of it has to do with what the ground is like, as Bonner was
on
saying.
turf, yes, but this will be fresh grass. It's not going to be beat up by 3 days of play.
He's also going against European laners, not the Edwards brothers. So.
Right.
Fair.
That is the great.
I'm still picking Aftershock on the upset. Y'all can disagree. I'm picking Aftershock on the upset. I'm going.
Either way, that game's going to be amazing.
6-3.
No
6-3.
6-3.
Aftershock.
Drugs. Dude, 3-1. One way or the other.
3-1?
That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all can pick your picks in a second, but so so between this will be Russians and Blast Camp. I'm gonna go Russians. I'm gonna also go. I'm gonna go 5-2. Russians over Blast Camp. I think the Russians have already said that their style is to play a ton of points. They want to run up the score. They want it to be a high-scoring game. That's their style because they think they have the athleticism to beat out the other teams. So
I read one of their Instagram things, but it was like Russian translated to English, so it didn't make a whole bunch of sense. Are they missing people? It sounded like they were having trouble.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. I haven't been looking, so it's possible. I don't believe so, but like Malloy, if he's there, also just won in NXL Europe on this layout, got finals MVP playing with Carnage. Or no, not Carnage, Scalp. Upsetting the Tauntauns. So Malloy is going to feast on this field. I think all of the Russians, but especially Malloy.
That dude's bad. We played them last year, and he knocked us out in whatever we got to, quarters over in the Netherlands. That dude's bad to the bone.
He is, yeah. Freaking machine.
Yeah, so up here we got Diesel versus Ironman. Honestly, this one's a toss-up for me. The Ironmen were another 4-0 team. They beat Dynasty. They beat X Factor in prelims. I'm going to go Diesel here because of the warm-up game. I think that's going to be a big factor. But I think it's going to be another slugfest. I think it's going to be an overtime game. We're going to go 4-3.
Sounds good.
Which I think a lot of my scores are probably going to be too high. It's probably going to be like a 3-1, 3-2, 2-1. But, these 1 point, 2 point spreads are probably going to be a lot of what we see. So this will be, let's see, Diesel. This will be X. This will be Russians. Or no, this will be Shock. and the Russians in the top 4. I think Shock Russians is going to be a banger of a match in the semifinals.
Yeah.
If it happens, which I know a lot of y'all think that Aftershock's not going to get it done against Damage, but I think this is going to be the matchup right here, and the winner of this match is more than likely going to win the event.
Man, that just I hope Aftershock beats Damage just so we can see A-Rod play against the Russian Legion. Like that's gonna be mayhem.
Kirill versus A-Rod, who's going to play the center more effectively.
Yeah.
The watching the center play on this layout has just been instructive.
Mm-hmm.
As a guy who, even though I said I want to be a snake player, I realize I have to. As a big old slow guy, I'm going to be up the middle usually.
Mm-hmm.
So, in all my walk on and rec ball games, I mean,
yeah, totally. I mean, the thing about it is, I think we're all picking Damage because we've seen Damage play deep into Sunday. We've seen them win tournaments. We've seen them be consistent killers off the break, in your face, right? Like they really are a team that has the capability to do it all, and they set the tempo in any match they play. Shock, if they do come out here and prove us wrong, I will be happy to like sit here and eat my words about it because I mean we don't have enough data. You know, we haven't seen this team go deep into Sunday. We just don't know enough about them as a team, which is the reason why I think I picked Damage personally. But dude, if it ends up being what is that? Shock? Yeah,
Shock and Russians. Yeah.
That would be such
a bloodbath.
Such a banger. Absolutely.
I mean, Shock is basically the Iron Men from 2020 that won. They were the 2020 COVID champions of an XL.
Yeah.
And they pretty quickly seem to have gelled back to their culture with Todd Martinez at the helm.
Yeah.
That they had back then.
I would love to see them do well. I mean, I've got a buddy that plays on Shock, and I want to see them succeed. It's Damage is a hard team to beat, man.
Yeah,
they always have been.
I do think they have the like new team, not curse, but the blessing, I guess, of like they haven't been scouted as much as everyone else.
For sure.
Yeah,
like
maybe
they're all known players though, which I guess that's been scouted. Like they're all veterans except for Hosky, right? I think who else?
I feel like with Damage, I've been watching those guys play for like 15 years. Like you look at the roster, it's almost all the same kids that came into the XL like the year after X Factor, and also won their second event ever, I think, as a pro team.
Here's something else to think about.
A true rookie? Sorry, go ahead, Donnie.
No, I think he is. I think he's been playing semi-pro with his Killers team.
Hosky, he played pro in Europe all last year. Right. With Notorious, but this is his first year in the US as a pro.
Don't forget he lives out in Florida too, so might be. I think he plays around Damage, so he might bring something to the table.
It's weird that he didn't go to Damage. Actually,
they probably don't. I mean,
they have Keith Brown.
Well, the big thing was being with Todd Adamson, who coached the Killers. So. So that was the big connection there. But anyways, getting back to this pick, I think this game is going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to go, let's see. I'm debating if I think it's going to go 6-4 or 7-5. I think it's going to be high scoring if this matchup happens. I'll go 6-4. And I think it's going to be hard to pick against the Russians. But, again, in this bracket, if it happens, the Russians are they're the absolute monsters.
Yeah.
Then up here.
It's exciting to because we're seeing the Russian Legion that we all like know and love and like
grew up with.
Yeah, man. Like it's exciting to see the machine essentially. Like there was just the stoicism that comes from it.
If you have
something
not listened to Kirill's interview on the Coaches Show, you should go listen to it, because if you've been a fan of Red Legion, Russian Legion,
Yeah.
I mean, the way he
Oh, I
talks about, they went from getting their butts kicked in their first World Cup, and 4 years later, just dominating the NXL. Around the time I discovered this, the pro level of the sport, NXL.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Yeah. Everything on there is great. He also did, sorry to direct to yet another podcast, but Joe Barrett's podcast with Kirill was
that was a great episode.
Pretty much anything with Kirill. This is great. That dude's such a cool guy.
Up here, Diesel X. I think this is going to be an overtime 3-2 game. Maybe even 2-1 overtime.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Who are you picking?
I'm picking X Factor.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. There's a lot of history there, you know.
You've got a lot of you've got a lot of former X Factor players that are on Diesel right now. With Jesse
and vice versa.
With Cody Mikowski. AC players that are now on X. TJ, Matt Jackson. Meter was on AC like a couple of years ago, so there's a lot of it's going to be a Texas throwdown for sure.
The Diesel now seems like I don't even know, like a shadow, not even a shadow of what AC was back then, you know.
Well, I mean, it's different styles.
Yeah.
No, as in like the current Diesel is something just completely different than the former Diesel, with when Jackson and TJ and Meter all played with him. So that's the other part, is all these guys it's the same pros have been around for over a decade, it feels like. So
yeah,
they all know each other, which is kind of interesting. I think the main thing Diesel has going for it is most of those people haven't played together for that long, and with Ryan for that long. So Clint Johnson, I think, is probably the newest. He's not even that new, but he just kind of was in and out.
Clint's been around for a while. I mean, the newest guy on that roster is Renee.
Yeah, definitely Renee.
Okay.
Who, big shout out, love Nene. But
BJ still with them?
BJ?
Henningberg? Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
Well,
that's two titans of a Snakes team. You got Mouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, I mean, it's we're talking about sports here, man. It's what you do. I think the big thing for Diesel is just going to be how much they practice together, which I don't know that answer. I didn't ask Jesse the other day when I was talking.
I think everybody was out there this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, the weekend before the tournament, but all this time that they've had knowing the layout, right? That's a gift that, as much as it sucks for them to not finish, they haven't been.
I don't think so. They definitely weren't out there the weekend before, but they were at X Factor. So
yeah, they were at X Factor 2 weeks
before. In what capacity, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they've had pockets of groupings. I know Jesse and Renee have been playing together a couple of times. I'm sure that Mouse and Spica have been playing together. But as
Clint
a whole,
wasn't dressed out on Saturday. I do know that, but they were also practicing the AC layout just for the blind layout effect, But he wasn't dressed out playing on Saturday, so I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, and you would think with a team that has so much to prove, and I mean maybe not really anything to lose, right? Because they've been struggling so much, that they would be practicing as much, if not more, than the Legion guys, right? I know that they're all in different states and it's hard, but hey, if I was that team owner, again, this is that gift you don't get but once every couple of years. I mean, how long has it been since we've had to cancel a tournament? 2012, 2013 or whatever?
12.
And hey, yeah. So, you have 6-8 weeks to practice a layout, and you're a team who has not been performing, full of superstars. You should be there as much as you humanly can, or as much as you can afford to, right?
Mhm. Well, the Texas layout just got set back up on fit for this last weekend too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it got wiped out for USXB and all that stuff, but I don't know. I mean, I'm with
Right.
you, right? Like if you're trying to win a pro event and take every advantage possible, and that's one of them, but you can't tell them what to do.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
For
such a
sure.
weird like. How do you like trying to wrap your head around like as a coach, like organizing practice for that? Like, yeah, I want to make sure you guys know this field, but like they know the like they practiced for Texas, so they know some of the shots, and then you still got to like keep in mind AC or NAO, and like, gosh, that's a conundrum.
Yeah. And then you've
Like,
got teams
But
like
the thing,
Blast
the
Camp
thing,
that have had the layout up every single weekend. Like I know they've been going at
like,
it constantly without rest. So we'll see. Like eventually, are you getting to a point of diminishing returns, or even like you're overthinking things to a point? So we'll see what approach.
I don't know.
I could see Blast Camp being like, "Hey, we're in the like we made Sunday. Let's freaking make this our Sunday. You know, like let's put all our eggs in this cart. Like, who knows if we'll make it again next
For
time?
sure.
You know,
For sure.
Are all the ML Kings, excuse me, Miami Kings, are they all local to? Still says ML on there. Are they all still
Yeah.
local to Florida? Are they from except for Harris? Are they?
That's
I
a good
think so.
question. I don't
I
know.
truly don't know.
Because then you have the battle of the two teams that could be practicing together every weekend. It's an interesting question of like how much. Yeah, it's an interesting question of like how much reps are going to really weigh in because you look at teams like a lot of these, almost every team on here don't live near each other,
Yeah.
right? Like
Definitely.
I know.
basically every.
I know Shock and X Factor were practicing last weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, but
Mhm.
I mean, Shock and X Factor are on opposite sides of the bracket here, so that
Yeah.
like that's how they wanted to set it up. I mean, they played Diesel 2 weeks before, but they wouldn't match until semifinals. So, at some point, it's just you're gonna see one of these teams more than likely at some point.
Yeah.
So,
They probably also had the arrangement to practice each other even well in advance before the last day. Maybe I'm just speculating because of the cost involved.
Yeah.
right. So,
Another interesting thing before we'll shut up and let you finish your speculations here, because I do want to know who you have in the finals. You should try to keep track of these teams that are getting such a good warm up by playing a whole nother tournament before the tournament and see how they place in the tournament that they're going into, right? Where all these other guys are coming in cold. I'm really curious to see if this is going to have any effect on these guys going into the blind layout. Like, yeah, my gun's hot. I'm great. We're rocking and rolling, or if they're tired. Or, I mean, I'm just curious what effect this is going to have on these teams moving forward.
for sure, or even bigger story would be injuries. Like,
Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely a possibility, right?
How bad? Here's a
you
question
think-
that come up. How bad do you think the field's going to be tore up compared to the new layout that gets put out there?
Well,
We was talking about that for a few
rains.
minutes on Sundays. Like, what are they going to have to deal with on the new layout when
you
it
see,
comes
if
out?
I were the NXL and I had the grass to do it, I would set this layout up on a completely different plot of grass just for that Thursday. But I mean, I don't know what resources they're working with. Maybe they have that plan, but they're saving that extra plot just for the ESPN finals. So, who knows what they've got in store. Looks like Thomas Fuss just joined us here in the call. MVP of the NXL Lone Star event on the Titans. Thomas, are you there, homie? I think he's muted, but
He is muted.
so Thomas, I guess if you can hear us, just unmute. We'll chat you up in a sec. Yeah, so I have X Factor versus the Russians in the finals.
Ooh.
Which
plastic.
Yeah, that's a classic thing. Like I mean, I'm a homer for X Factor all day, but I think the Russians are going to be completely unstoppable on this field. So
I think the history of that. I think there's like heritage in that lineup right there. That was X Factor's first win, like Chicago 07, 08.
Yep. And then
I
they
think in
and
the
then
pro PSP, like to me, that's like anytime I see that, I'm like, let's go. I want to see what happens.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
2000. Yeah,
yeah,
in
2019
2007. There.
as well. Sorry, Sasha, go ahead.
I mean, yes, I started watching pro paintball right when X Factor went pro, and Legion was killing everybody. And it seems like X Factor always drew the Russian Legion in the playoff when that first year. So it's always fun to see them play against each other.
Yeah.
So,
I think. Ooh.
who did you pick to win? You said Russian Legion, Christian?
I haven't said
Unstoppable?
yet. I was just waiting to hear what you would say. So X Factor versus Russians, like even going back to 2019 when X Factor won the series, when they played in Philly, I think it was, X beat the Russians in, I don't know, I don't remember if it was overtime or if it was in the final seconds of regulation. But Archie and Colt Roberts pulled off that 2-on-2. And
yeah.
So I mean, now, like, I don't know, man. My heart says X Factor, but my gut says Russian Legion on this one.
Am I wrong in this? Does X Factor? I'm looking at like veteran status. Is X Factor's like veteran status a little bit deeper than Russians on this? I'm thinking like Colt, Billy, Meter.
If you go the full depth of the roster, yes, but as far as the starters, I think it's pretty comparable. Like the Russians aren't going to be spinning outside their starting 5, I don't think. Maybe they're starting 6. Like they're not going to be giving like Jake McDarby's probably not going to see a single spin on Thursday. And, you know, nothing against him, but he's like a second-year player. And he's still very much a rookie. Whereas if you go like X Factor, they're 9 deep, and all of these guys have, I want to say, 10 plus years of pro experience. So, and you've got, you know, Billy, Axel, Colt, TJ Danner, Matt Jackson, you know, like
it didn't X pick up somebody new like semi recently? Again, I'm out of the league.
They picked up Axel. This past offseason, they picked up Axel Godin, Matt Jackson, and Ryan Hoskinson. And Hoskinson's now on Aftershock.
Okay.
And Stetzel from New York Extreme.
Oh, and Stetzel, that's right, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Who is still on the team. Ryan Hoskin went to Aftershock, as you said, but he was there. Yep.
Yeah, they made a lot of additions this offseason when they let go of Parrish, Cody Mikowski, Jesse Stevens.
Well, Parrish left to Aftershock.
Yeah. A lot of former X Factor players on Aftershock.
Yeah.
Well,
they knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, Sloviak as well. So
Sloviak was let go
a while ago.
I mean,
yeah,
but at the same time, Sloviak did win the series with X Factor. So
he did,
and he was a starter on that team. So yeah, X Factor versus Russian Legion. I'm gonna go. X Factor tends to play low scoring games. Russians tend to play very high scoring games. I'm going to meet them in the middle. I'm going to say 4-3 Russians in the finals.
Oh,
let's make it even. Let's make it even. If you're going to go there, you have to also say that the Russians win it by playing like a 9-second point at the end of the game. Because they always find a way to do that.
Field? I don't know.
That's just how they do it, you know? They win those crazy, like, fast points.
They literally practice those. It's crazy.
As you should. If you're trying to win these things, you should have a fast point.
And it was, that 9-second point was against AC Dallas, right?
It was.
They did it once against Dynasty. I mean, they've done a lot of them.
They've done a bunch of them.
But I think it was against AC Dallas when it was Jackson and Danner. And I guess
so they'll be ready.
Yeah,
or they'll
not
be,
again.
or they'll be having deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
And that actually might have been the year that Axel was also on AC Dallas.
9-second points possible. Sergey's just going to like hurdle the 2 bricks in the center, and it's no big deal.
I'll just run through them.
I was gonna say I'll just hold on.
Yeah.
So
all of a sudden the bricks start moving down the field.
These are my picks. These are my predictions. A lot of high scoring games for a field that's very controlled, but I think at this point with the 6 weeks, teams have figured out, the third and fourth iteration and involvement of how to play the game. So I think it's gonna it'll slow down and then it'll speed up again as teams figure out the counters, and it's just gonna be much more automatic. So yeah. Anybody else have picks that they want to share? I can just keep drawing on this. I can clear this out.
I've got one I want to share.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to mess with clearing everything out. I just want to say I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be really tough. I think they're going to dig deep, and somehow Dynasty is going to find a way to win the Lone Star Major.
If
So
you had
here's a
said
question.
Impact, I would have agreed with you. If Bart's team
I think I
doesn't
go
make
with-
Sunday, then no one gets to play.
Well, I mean, Dynasty just seems like they always win. So and the very first pick thing we did the year, I called Dynasty not making Sunday, and everyone thought I was crazy. Well, look at me now.
Yeah. Gosh. They'll be. It sounded
So
like
do you-
Yosh was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, do we, because I can look at this and see a bunch of the teams that probably didn't take advantage of 6 weeks, right?
Right.
So has the Texas layout been up at X Factor for 6 weeks? Probably not.
It has, but X Factor
It has?
hasn't. X Factor hasn't
Right.
been there all 6 weeks, but it's been up.
Right. So, I mean, Aftershock obviously probably didn't take advantage of it either. So, I mean, it's got to come down to the Russians, That's what I'm saying. Because I would think
outlets that everyone has access to.
I mean, Shock has a lot. They're all over the place. as far as their
they're spread
players,
out.
so.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about that. Could it be that one of these other teams comes out that hasn't oversaturated himself with this one layout? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be
could see
surprised if there's
Blast
a
Camp.
spoiler.
Yeah.
I think the clear favorites here on both sides of this bracket, it's going to be probably X, just due to their levels of seniority and how good they are. And the Russians, because of not only their seniority, but the amount of practice time that they actually can put in, and that we know that they do, right? I mean, they post about it all the time. They have their facility, their reball facility. They're incredibly athletic. I've seen videos of those camps that they do with, the pro camps and stuff with these kids, and they're just putting them through the ringer, and that's with kids, not their actual players, right? So
Right.
I can't imagine the, physical training that they do in their own camp internally behind closed doors. Also, on that note, let's bring in steroid testing to paintball. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely
But-
not.
No, yeah.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of these pro guys with their shirts off in the pits, and there's no one using steroids from what I can tell. They actually need to get more in the gym. I got a question for you guys, actually. How come no one's talking about Houston Heat? They've got great players, and there's nobody in this conversation that's bringing them up. It seems like they're totally
They're
overlooked.
hot and cold, man. They're spread out and they're hot and cold. They have shown themselves to be unreliable.
They're 4-0 in the prelims in this event.
But
I mean, how many times did they do that last year, right?
Exactly.
So I think they are also recovering from COVID still, because there was a lot of between Fedorov and Mishka, there was a lot of inconsistency as far as attendance.
Yeah,
first few
Mishka
years
was
back.
out for a year or 14 months or something like that.
And that dude is powerhouse. And as great as Todd Martinez is, I don't think he was right for Heat.
Agreed.
So I think now that they have Ryan coaching again, I think he knows everyone a little bit better, I think. So it is like you said, it's hot or cold with them.
I just don't think they're beating X Factor. I don't think there's necessarily anything else to it. X Factor.
They have. I mean, they did it at the last Texas event. That sucked too. I think.
Yeah,
they did.
but
I might be wrong, but
I mean, they have beat X Factor in the past, right? I mean, all of these teams have beat each other in the past at one point or another. But we're rolling the dice here, and if I I just think that X Factor gets it done more often than not against, especially against Heat. And they've got guys that are just they're both very senior rosters, right? Obviously, a lot of these players on a lot of these teams that do well are super senior guys. They're 10 years plus. But the X Factor has this crazy mix of freak athletes that are also incredibly intelligent, right? I.e., Billy Bernaccia. I mean, dude, Cole Roberts. I mean, the dude's still got it, and
Can't mess with his IQ. That guy is.
You cannot. He's incredibly smart. And that's just two dudes on a 9-guy roster.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do this. We're going to go one by one, starting with seniority. So Sasha, you're up first. Give me your picks. We're going to draw.
I already called Dynasty to win the event.
All right.
I'll just go real quick. I'll say Diesel beats Revo. I'm not going to give any scores. I'm not a big
That's all
nerd
good,
about
yeah.
stats. Yeah. I'm going to say X Factor beats Heat because I'm a home, fan of my home field
Attaboy.
team. I'll say I'm going to call the Kings over Blast Camp. I just think the Kings have got the experience over them. Blast Camp still make lots of rookie mistakes like you see them do. I'm just calling Damage over Shock. I just think Damage is, I agree with the idea that they've got dialed in. Where's that take us?
Diesel, Ironman.
I'm putting Diesel over Ironman. I feel like I got a lot of confidence in Coach Gray. I'm going to put Legion over Kings, safe bet. I'm going to put, on this layout, I give the advantage to the attackers. So I'm putting Legion over Damage. I think it's semifinals. Who we got next?
X Diesel.
Yeah. X and Diesel. Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm just gonna go be a fanboy and say X Factor. As much as I'd like to see Diesel get a good result. And then what do we got left here?
Russian Legion versus X in the finals.
Wasn't that the same when you called? I mean, I'm just gonna go. I mean, I feel like X Factor has because we're both X Factor fanboys. X Factor has got the attacker. I think X Factor has stronger attackers and more attackers than Legion does.
More, yes.
Head to head. And also, they just got a deeper roster, which means at the end of the tournament, they're going to have more gas in the tank. So I'm giving X Factor, and I'm going to say it's a decisive. I'll give a score, just a tie break. Decisive score of, let's see, 7-5. Lots of points played.
In the
just
finals.
Going at it. Why not? Let's make it exciting for people.
All right.
I just pulled that out of my hat there for you.
All right. Whoever wants to take a picture, there it is right there. Get your bets. Any money that you lose on Kirgo, please forward all of your complaints to Podrunners Union's Instagram.
Right. I am not a betting man. So yeah, this is all for fun.
All right. So we're going to reset this. I think up next in seniority is you, Bonner. So
I don't do this because I don't really care about pro.
All right.
I mean, I'll go with I don't know. It's hard to pick the Diesel over Revo thing just because, I mean, Revo's they've picked up a couple different dudes and they look pretty good too. They look like a little more reliable to pick, making it, out of prelims than Diesel's been. Especially, they looked pretty good last year too. I don't know. That's a hard pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna skip that one. I'll pick the Kings over Blast Camp though.
Okay.
Because Kyle's pretty good about working with new players. He come to the first Champions event at Fit, and I mean, watching him. I think he played with a shut-up line, and watching him work with that group that really, I don't think they had played together a lot, and then they met us in quarters, I think. But he does a real good job with a lot of the new players, so I think he'll have an advantage there, being able to kind of lead that team through. X Factor and Heat would be hard, but I'll go with the X Factor pick just because, let's talk about the reliability of production. X Factor, you can see it through the past 3-4 seasons now. They reliably, produce. Heat's hot or cold, more so cold than not. So I'll pick X Factor on that one. I'll go with the damage pick, and I'll actually probably just pick damage that beat Russian Legion. I mean,
Whoa. So you think
You gotta-
Russians are going to beat MO
hard
Kings
on
here? Or?
no, I'll pick damage over. Yeah, I think the Russians would beat the Kings,
Okay.
but I think damage would beat out Russians. I mean, you got a humbucker there for Jason to shoot people from. So,
All right.
and
So,
then the
like-
other bracket, I don't care. I'll just pick damage to go all the way.
all right. Not even touching the diesel pick. You're just avoiding that entirely.
Yeah, I'm just. I got buddies there. I got buddies on both lines, so it's a hard pick. I think
Okay.
that Diesel Revo match can go either way.
Damage is the winner. All right.
I'm gonna go with damage on that one.
Wow. I like it.
I mean, y'all go on about attackers, but I mean, it's not like Diesel or damage comes out to play defense right off the bat. They just make spots and take their time deciding where to go. You know, they're not gonna make big crazy moves 5-on-5. They're gonna shoot a body or two and then take every open spot that they possibly can. You know, to attack from there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think somebody said earlier that, people say that damage comes out timid or whatever the word was, right? And I've kind of been thinking about that a lot. And I think if you call damage's paintball timid, you don't understand what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're trying to shoot you off the break, which they're really fucking good at. And if they don't do that, then they're going to figure you out and they're going to wait for you to make the first mistake. And as soon as you do, the dominoes fall, and they fall very quickly. And they have a process. They have a process.
Somebody was talking to Joey about it, and it's like we don't play defensive paintball; we just play smart paintball.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Yes.
and it's kind of like it's sort of a reflection of kind of what Greg built a lot of the AC divisional stuff on that leads to the Dallas and the Diesel stuff. And it's, you got a couple guys to lock the zones up. You got your couple attackers. You put a couple of dudes in the back that got good lanes. Shoot some people on the break. Take what they give you. Don't overextend. I mean, nobody mentioned Rainey in any of this stuff. I mean, you mentioned they have good players, but nobody mentions Rainey. Put Rainey up in the center. You put, Keith obviously goes to Doritos. Brian Smith, Chad over in Dorito. I mean, put Keith in the Snake. The other dudes in the Doritos. I mean, I think that they could probably lock up a Russian Legion line better than anybody.
Yep.
For sure. All right. We'll let you dodge this whole match right here.
Well, I've played with Shorty. I see the Diesel dudes. I mean, it's a hard one to pick on because like Skylar said, we don't have data. Like, show me data where either one of those two teams is reliable in getting past this round. You know what I mean? And it's kind of not there. I don't remember what event was it. Cup where Revo went to semis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
was it Cup, right?
I thought
think
the
it was
last time
Cup,
they
yeah.
went was when they had cheer.
It was I don't know about Sheer. I know they made semis once last year, but it was before they lost O'Mara and Sense.
Right. But I mean, still, like, it's a big mix up in the line, right? And like playing with Shorty, he's confident in it. I like Shorty. Shorty knows how to play and he knows his team. But once again, they probably have about as much time invested on this layout as Diesel. So, I mean, who knows what that pick would be, Like, I'm not dodging it for the sake of hurting anybody's feelings. I just don't know where to go with that one.
Right. You've also got
But
Devin Stewart
but I mean,
and
once you get to the next round, like, you're playing an Ironman team, and it doesn't really matter at that point if you're picking damage to go all the way. So,
Alrighty. Okay, so there's Bonner's picks. Up next is Clint.
Ooh. All right. I think a lot of my focus with these is like I'm like cold starts come to mind. Like these guys are starting cold and who comes out the gate hot. So that's something I got to kind of focus on. And I'm going to contradict myself right away. I'm going to pick Revo just because their history is like anytime I'm like against Revo, they're just like they win. And it's never like, by a landslide. It's always just like they're squeaking through, but they do. And so I don't know what it is, if it's Jeffries, if it's Carroll or Shorty, like they got a lot of great players, and somehow they find a way to mesh real well. So just because I want to pick Diesel, I'm picking Red Bull.
There you go. You win either way, right?
Diesel to win. Yeah, I want Diesel to win. Like, I'm a Texas dude. Ryan Gray, Mark Johnson, like Clint Johnson. Most of the Diesel guys like are great. I played at XTPL with Ice was on my team for the mech thing. Like, they're cool dudes. I want them to win, but for the sake of this, that's what I'm going to choose.
All right.
And then I think they beat Iron Man because I
Ooh.
don't care. Iron Man fired Nick. I don't care about Iron Man. Like, I think anyway, yeah.
Well, 6 weeks takes a lot of steam off of their 4-0, right? So
Right.
Yeah. They're still so like I do like Tom Guest. He's the only one I really know.
I was gonna say
Like,
I don't know
kind of
most of the guys on Iron Man.
It's like
Like,
Tom,
Trent
Omara,
Nida, and Keith
Sens.
DeVille.
No, Trent's on
Yeah.
Aftershock now.
Trent's on Shock.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that they're kind of, I don't know, there's something different now. So like they're not like the last place Ironman. So that's cool, but
Definitely
I still I don't want them to win this. It's so weird. They're all like anyone who's like listening to this, like, I love every paintball player. I promise. It's not like I feel bad. Anyway, so I got Revo over Ironman. I'm gonna take X Factor over Heat. I think Heat, there, as far as cold starts go, I think it takes a while for them to get everything warmed up. And X Factor, I won't say that they come out the gates hot, but I think they can warm up a lot faster than Heat. And then X Factor will take Iron Man because they're X Factor.
X Factor over Revo.
I'm sorry, yeah. X Factor over Revo, yeah.
Right.
I think that would be a good game to X Factor Revo, but I'm gonna take X on that for a reason. And then I'm sorry,
You've got Aftershock damage.
Yeah, you made such a great point about Kyle. I completely just had not considered that with Kyle Berry on the ML Kings and how great of a trainer he is. I was Blast Camp all the way. But thinking about that, like him having 6 weeks to really work with it and how much he cares about his team, I think I'm gonna say ML Kings. I think they get stomped by the Russians. I think, just because of what the Russians are doing. I do wonder. Let's see. Hang on. I'm gonna pick Damage over Aftershock. Damage comes out hot. Like, I don't know who said they were timid, but like, say it to their face, man. Those are some scary dudes. Like, they I don't want to be on the receiving end of any of them. Like they're tough. So I love the new Aftershock, but I think Damage takes them on this. It hurts. I love so much of the new Aftershock. Like, I want them to win too. But anyway, so I think that puts me at
Russians and Damage.
Russians and Damage. I think Damage takes the Russians.
Ooh.
I just think if anyone can slow down the Russians, it's going to be Damage. And I think they will. Also, like, what field does Damage practice out of? Is it Tiki's?
No, Jason has what is it, Legacy Sports Park or something now. I think that's the old CFP or something, right?
Okay. All right.
So they have a field, but I mean, yeah, Russians are out at Tiki's, so they're kind of far apart. So
okay, never mind. So I want to put Damage over Russians. That game is a toss up. I'm gonna say that's a 1-point game. So I want Damage to win that. all so that we can have an X Factor Damage rematch. Because as much fun as a Russian X Factor rematch, I think there's a fresher Damage X Factor rematch
Mhm.
where they lost in overtime, and I want X Factor 2.
All right.
And that was at the Mid Atlantic Major last year, also.
Yep. Tom Guess
So-
against Edwards.
Yeah. So that's what I would like to see. Talking about this, like I'm just excited. It feels like it's been so long since there's been a tournament. So cool that we get to see 2 in one weekend.
What are you talking about? ICPL was just the other weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't watch that.
Lone Star, even though it didn't finish, it was only 6 weeks ago. But I guess the fact that it didn't finish was,
yeah,
long wait. So that's Riddle's art picks right here. X over Damage in the finals. And then Skylar, you're gonna be last up.
Man, mine's gonna be pretty similar. And I'll just kind of bang these out real quick whenever you're ready. So we'll start with Revo Diesel. I definitely think that Diesel has more talent, right? They've got some better all-stars that can really swing a game. Spico when he's playing well. Mouse, obviously, I mean, dude's snake god, and then you've got some pretty smart dudes behind him, and even on the other side of the field, like I don't think Ice or BJ get enough credit. And obviously, Jesse, I mean, they've got a great roster. So I think they take this all day. No shade to Shorty or Devin Stewart. Big love for those guys. No shade at all here. This is we're just picking points. And then we'll move forward in that one. I think that this new Ironman is a coin toss. They're either going to come out and say, "Hey, look how good we are. Look how good we are at this layout." I don't think anybody knows how much they've been practicing. We know how much Diesel hasn't been practicing, which is worrying. I think that Diesel, I'm going to give him 51%. So I'm going to pick Diesel here just because of that talent. So, yeah, what's next?
Heat X.
So Heat X, yeah, you know where I stand on that. X Factor all day. For
Is there
sure.
a bias on this podcast? I can't
Well, I mean, I got to be honest. I've talked about tournaments, brackets going into tournaments with friends in the past when X was having bad years, and it was like, yeah, it is what it is. I got a lot of love for him, but the dudes are just playing well. I mean, they're in their peak, their literal peaks, a lot of them. So, we'll see if this is the same X Factor that we're talking about that everybody loves and is picking to go to the finals in 5 years. I hope it is, but everybody gets older. So, all right, moving on. Aftershock Damage. I'm gonna take Damage on this one, man. Yeah, I really think that like we've been talking about and kind of beating a dead horse, they get made out to play defensive paintball, and when you have an aggressive offensive based layout like Texas was, a lot of people discount Damage, and Bonner made a great point. Rainey, say what you want about him, but the dude is an absolute genius, and he can hit the brakes and make you absolutely stop and scratch your head and go, "What the hell just happened?" Or he can just sneak into your kitchen and absolutely fuck your shit up. And that's one of many dudes on that line that can do that. And not to mention, you're probably going to be playing 3-on-5 because you're trying to shoot Keith Brown off the break, and you've got the Edwards brothers and Agent Smith shooting at you. Good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Don't forget about Chad.
And yeah, absolutely. I mean, you name a name on that roster, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, superstar." Yeah. Right.
Definitely. Real quick, what up, Vic? Vic just joined us.
What's up?
What's up?
Blast Camp, Kings. I like Kyle Berry. I like what he's doing. I think he's a good dude. But again, when people talk about the Kings, they talk about the Kings and Kyle Berry kind of separately, right? That's one guy on a team in a team sport. I'm sure you can all think of examples in other sports where it's he's the best guy on an okay team, and they made it this far. Congrats, happy for him. But realistically, I don't think that that is going to match up in any way, shape, or form against a brand new pro team that is definitely the hungriest in this bracket. Um, and I think that Blast Camp has probably been practicing. I mean, you guys have said that they've been having the layout up this whole time. I know for a fact they've been practicing. They're happy to be in Sunday. You know, they're here to prove something more so than probably most of the teams here. So I think they've got that all day. I'm picking Blast Camp. And moving on from that, unfortunately, this is where they hit a wall because you're hungry, you got something to prove. Yeah, but the Russians are the Russians, and yeah, the Russians move on for sure. So Russians damage. I actually agree with Bonner on this one as well. I think that Damage is talented enough and smart enough, and they've played the Russians a lot in the past. They're not scared of them. Yes, they're talented. Yes, they're on fire. But I mean, this is again not the first time they've met, and probably not the scariest version of the Russians that Damage has ever played. So I'm gonna take Damage for sure, and that leaves us with
X
the
Factor
top
Diesel.
bracket. X Diesel. Yeah, big love to Diesel, but I'm going X all day. Just because of their level of experience. And, you know, if we're being honest, X has fried bigger fish, and they do it consistently, and they don't break a sweat doing it. So I think that they've proven themselves to be able to handle anybody in this bracket on a good day, and, you know, another half of these teams they could handle on a bad day.
Once again, we find ourselves at X Factor versus Damage in the finals.
Yeah. God, this is a tough one. I mean, for God's sakes, it came down to one-on-ones, right?
Yeah.
So anybody's guess at this point is just that, a guess. I'm a hometown boy, you know. I think the Damage is fucking good, but I think that when you get down to really close splits like this, it comes down to the team that's the most pissed off, and X has something to prove a little bit more than I think the Damage guys do in this situation. I'm going
I think
X.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget, Damage didn't make it out of prelims in Vegas.
Yeah, but I mean, a grudge match is a grudge match is a grudge match, dude. And when you lose in one-on-ones and it's broadcasted all over the place until the next tournament for everybody to see, I know for a fact Colt Roberts did not forget that shit. I know for a fact Meter did not forget that shit. Yeah, you know, Guest isn't on the team anymore, but it doesn't matter. They lost that as a team in front of everybody, right? So if it gets to that, I'm going X because those dudes don't forget.
All right, so almost 4 out of 5 of us had X Damage in the finals, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it was split 50-50 between X taking it and Damage taking it. I had X Russians in the finals. So all of us think that X is going to come out of the top half, and it's just is it going to be? I had Aftershock upsetting Damage, but part of me is just I want to see Aftershock take on the Russians because I think it's going to be an absolute car crash.
Yeah,
I think Diesel and Damage final would be kind of fun to watch.
That would be wild.
Yeah, like sort of like you got all former, not all, but like a lot of former Impact players on both teams duking it out.
Yeah,
Rainey
for sure.
And Chad, Keith, and
so with that being said, Victor, love you, miss you, man. Gentlemen, I got to get out of here. I got work in the morning. I got some studying to do.
Later,
Thanks
Skyler.
for having me, man.
Skyler.
Happy birthday. We'll see y'all around.
Thanks, Skyler. All right, Vic. So let's get to you, homie. So you were on the show episode. Let's see. Let me find you real quick. What episode were you on? You were on with Brandon Linaldi and Taylor Munoz, episode 61, August of last year. So how's it been with demos since then?
We're doing good. We're just trying to move up the ranks of semi-pro. Out here grinding, trying to get out there practicing X Factor. 2 weekends ago. Trying to get better scrimmages in, get better.
For sure. I mean, you guys have been up at X Factor a lot lately, at least this season. It's good to have you guys more often. So you guys are not playing Atlantic City, correct?
No, we're not. We didn't go. Like, if we would have done better in Texas, then we for sure would have gone. It's really expensive to go to Atlantic City, so we decided just to do more practices to work on stuff besides going to Atlantic City.
Gotcha.
And then come back to Chicago.
Are you guys going to be guesting on any teams like for this upcoming USXBL at X Factor? Or
I want to, so I might. I know I am. I want to. I think the other Victor was playing with TDSM, and Ian's playing with Balls Out. And I don't think anybody else is playing with anybody.
I think
else.
Titans might pick up Pat.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I saw that. And Taylor might want to also, since it's going to be in San Antonio, a lot closer than Paintball Fit.
Right. For sure. All right. So yeah, Vic, do you want to get in on this Atlantic City or I guess Texas Lone Star playoff prediction before we close it out?
Yeah.
All right. Let's reset this.
I was listening to it the whole time when I was on my way home. So
sweet.
Mine are pretty much the same with yours.
With mine? Oh.
Yeah.
I had some outlandish stuff there, but
I don't know if it's just me personally wanting them to win or upsetting.
Right.
Some matches I just want to see.
All right. So give it to us. Who's taking it, Revo or Diesel?
I'm going with Diesel. We practiced them 2 weeks ago also. And looks like they're ready. Clicking for them.
Sweet. All right.
So
Who's
I'm going to
next?
go with Diesel for them. We're going to go to the top half first?
It's all up to you. You take it however you want.
All right, let's do the top half first. So the Diesels, who's the Heat and X Factor. We played against X Factor also 2 weekends ago, so I'm gonna go with X Factor because they're hitting on all three sides. So I'm gonna go with X Factor beating Heat. And I can only imagine when what's his name, Axel Godin, if he was there, how much more better they would have been. So I'm gonna go with them.
All right.
He plays say Diesel versus Ironman.
See, that's the
Ironman
biggest
was
question mark for me, right?
Yeah, Ironman was playing really good at the last event. I feel like if Ironman can keep it up and pick up where they left off, then Ironman's gonna take it. But if not, Diesel, they're figuring stuff out there. They're shooting us off the break, going to like the Alpha, the tower on the snake side. We're diving in there. So somebody over there has been practicing that quick shot. I want to go with AC Diesel also.
Okay.
Upset Ironman. Who's that gonna leave? AC Diesel and X Factor. After practicing both of them, if just off the practice, I would say X Factor would take it slightly over AC Diesel. Just because they're on sync. X Factor was on sync on all sides. And I feel like they would take it in that regard. So X Factor would make it into the finals.
Okay, bottom half.
Let's go. I know Blast Camp. I feel like since they all live in the same area and practice every weekend, and they have these past couple of weeks to practice it, so I think Blast Camp will take it.
Blast Camp takes it. All right.
Aftershock and Damage. I think that's gonna be if Damage can shoot Aftershock off the break, then they'll win it. If they can't do that, then I think Aftershock is gonna take it. Who would I want to see to play? I would want Aftershock to play. Just it'll be more exciting. Then Russian Legion against Blast Camp. Yeah, Russian Legion. I think that's probably a no-brainer.
Right.
Russian Legion. I'm gonna take that one.
All right.
The experience, and they play fast.
Right. You got Russian Legion and you got Aftershock.
I think I'll go with Russian Legion also again for the experience and how they've been playing. Meet Aftershock, and then experience will take over from there.
All right. So you got X versus Russians in the finals.
X versus Russians. That's gonna be a hard one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want X Factor to win. But I don't know if Russian Legion makes it all the way to the finals. I feel like they're gonna be paired, stoppable. So I would take Russian Legion, even though I'd want X Factor to win.
Right. All right. So me and Vic have the same picks here. Everybody else had ML Kings Damage winning those games and then Damage beating X in the finals. So it looks like everybody thinks that X Factor is going to make the finals on the top half. So hopefully, we'll see that happen. All right.
Yep.
All right. So I think that just about does it. Let me. All right, y'all. So, thanks everybody for joining. Everybody that's come in and out this entire episode. I like getting to do this every year, just connecting everybody that's been on the show. And yeah, but it's now just after 10 o'clock at night, so we're gonna shut it down. Anybody got any last words they'd like to say before we sign off?
Go buy all my Podrunners Union swag. Please.
Shout out Big Willie's lawn care service out there.
Hey, Christian, seriously, congratulations on running a great podcast for 2 years. I listen religiously, and because I'm a very nosy person, I really enjoy getting to know about all these people that shoot me into the ground every weekend. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks, Sasha. Vic, any last words?
Just congratulations on this also. Great seeing you out there and bringing everybody together.
Appreciate it, guys. All right, so that's going to do it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see, Lasro in the chat. He says, Podrunners Unite. All right, thanks for stopping in, Scott. All right, so I think that does it for our show. Yeah, we will see you all next week for episode 105, start of year 3. Show goes live weekly here on youtube.com/@inthepitspaintballpodcast. Recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. Quick shout out to all the sponsor and partner tier subscribers on Patreon, FU Athletics, Get That Shot, Paintball Can We Take, Compete, BEM Raps, Hydra, XTPL Events, Mariachi Aguilas de Oro, Podrunners Union, 71 Designs, TexanHemp.com, and QBRofficial.com. So we will see you all next week. Yeah, and let's call this one. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody online, thank you for tuning in. See you next week.